And welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, you can follow me as well on Twitter. Tweet me, all right? Don't be shy. Today is, of course, Thursday. That means me and Brandon, we come online and we talk some toys and we try and make it Marvel Legends related. And to be fair, I had like a sort of a pretty naff theme for today's stream, not going to lie to you. And then, thank the Lords, we have some Marvel Legends news to talk about. And I wasn't too sure if we were going to talk about it, but it's official news, so of course we're talking about it. There's a brand new Marvel Legends sort of legacy collection. It started off with Black Panther, but potential for more. So we're going to get into all of that. Talk about some new toys, as I've finally got the Thor Wave in hand, and I actually think it's better than the pictures look online. So give you my first thoughts on that. But as always, of course, I cannot do it on my own. So here he is, Hero.Collections. Brandon!
Yo! Happy Thursday, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm better now. It's Thursday. It's
Absolutely.
It's another bank
best
holiday,
day of the
right?
week. It is, yeah. On Monday, we this weekend we have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I'm always happy for those type of 3-day weekends. Like, the less working time I have to do, the happier Dan is. So yeah, I'm all good, to be fair. I'm looking forward to next week, to be fair, because it's, as I said, a shorter work week, and then next week we get to see Doctor Strange, and I'm like the hype's starting to build for me now with Doctor Strange. Oh, you froze? You froze? Have I froze? Who knows what it is? Brandon's froze, but am I still alive? Or maybe Brandon's playing musical statues with me. I'm not too sure. If I'm still alive in the chat, I'm sure someone will let me know. Let me bounce to the chat while Brandon sorts himself out. Because if he's playing musical statues, then this guy's the king. That was pretty good. Right, let me jump to the chat. Who's around? Let me scroll up. Let me say hello to the people and see if Brandon comes back. He was so excited to talk to the news, it crashed. There you go. He's gone. He'll be back, I'm sure. Okay, so Mark Rose jumps in real early. Mark Tac. He says, so much good stuff to talk about. Positive vibe from the community. Let's enjoy our action figures. I have faith Hasbro will sort out the plastic-free packaging that most of us can get behind. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting news to come out from the interviews, which we will get into all that. Of course, we're going to discuss that. There was lots of interviews. There's probably about 7 or 8 in total, and I have some feelings about them, and again, we can talk about it, but there are some interesting nuggets, as always, to come out from these things, so that's what we want to talk about today. We're going to sort of look at, recap the interviews, and just pick out the nuggets of information, and just have a little bit of discussion around that after we get into the Black Panther news, of course. Loki, he said, good morning, lads, have an amazing show, I'll be watching the replay. Thank you very much. He is obviously from another side of the planet, so I do appreciate him watching the replay, as always. And if you are part of the replay crew coming to join us today, talk about some Marvel Legends and this new legacy collection, then please let me know in the comments of this video. I do always appreciate seeing who's watching after the fact. I'm sure there's people out there like me who are watching live streams but on the replay, but trying to join in with the chat. I always try and do that. I'm an idiot. But still, we got Mark Tac, Kurt K, the Wolfpack toy reviews in the building. Go and check out his Black Noir review that just went up from The Boys. I'm excited to see The Boys. Season 3 comes out in June, I believe. Hopefully they complete the 7 at least, but go and check that out. Bring Toys to War says, happy Thursday all. Happy Thursday to you, my friend. Jay's Toys Collection UK says, evening all. Couple of powers. We got Iron Man Wow. We got Caesar's Chill Cave. Mike Hex, the former Mike D. Tony Collector 10. We got John. We got Hugo. Joined us for the very first time on Legends of Liquor this weekend. Always fun adding new people to the crew. Again, become a channel member. Don't be shy. That's what it's all about. Striding, we got MCU Collector. I'm going to see if we can get an MCU Collector cameo during this video, but we shall see. Stay tuned. Jamie is around. Jason, Home Dude, Rectangular. He says, Bum Pirates assemble. Yes, indeed. Arr, let's assemble. I am not ashamed about it. I refuse to be a grumpy old man on the internet. I will not do it. Positive vibes coming from me, all right? King Black Bolt. Remember, King Black Bolt. Don't say too much. We don't want any buildings destroyed. KSM Kyle. Rich M with a couple of hits. Rich is going to be joining us next week for a very Doctor Strange Pacific theme. But Rich has also got some new toys. Go and check out his displayed once on Instagram and you'll see for myself. We got Omega Weapon, Heavy Man, Caleb, Cap lives. Your boy's got toys. Hopefully he's recovered from his hangover. I hope you're doing all right, Alexi. I know he missed out on Legends of Liquor this week because he was hungover. Self-inflicted. Literal action figs. He says going to talk about the SH Figure Arts Buzz Lightyear. Maybe. I'm sure Brandon would be tempted to talk about that. Nerdy as well. Spider Fan 244. He says, I wonder if this means we'll get a repainted Iron Man Mark III in the silver, so it's Mark II. Yes, lots of conversations to be had regarding this legacy collection that this Black Panther line sort of alludes to. And it even says in the blurb, many other MCU films to come or something like that. So lots to talk about. Omar V, we got Chad. We got Hoodlum Inc. He says Blade, maybe Ghost Rider. Fortress Maximus says, what's up, hooligans? I do quite like that, hooligans. Rectangular said, Brandon's mum must be streaming Downton Abbey and killed the Wi-Fi signal. Yeah, he's not even came back into the Zoom call yet. So I don't know what's happened with Brandon. He could have been abducted by aliens. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. It's a possibility. Maybe I'm watching a little bit too much X-Files at the minute. Maybe it's that as well. I don't know, but I'm just saying. The truth is out there, all right? I'm on season 4 now, I think, on my first ever watch of X-Files, believe it or not. Anyway, we're not talking about X-Files today. This is the nonsense I talk about when I'm left to talk to the computer on my own. I'm literally in an empty room. I feel weird. I can't do the unparalleled solo missions. It feels a bit weird to me. But I will do my housekeeping while Brandon's here. How about that? Okay, let's do that. First and foremost, the Dan Who Network is a real thing, people. Me and many of the channel members have created multiple spin-offs now. Legends and Liquor is the place where we just talk about toys and watch me drink from Copperberg. Turtles and Tea, me and the Super Turk 5000 Tanner talk about turtles and everything toy related in regard to that. And then Mini Plastic Multiverse, aka Tom and Mark Tac, aka Mark, on Joe's and Juice. And there is a recent episode on Joe's and Juice just shy of 1K views. So go and check out the last episode of Joe's and Juice when we, Tom and Mark, all sort of give our most wanted classified series figures. All right, go and check that out right now. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And hopefully another Joe's and Juice soon to recap some of the recent Joe reveals, because there was quite a few classified reveals and pre-orders. We want to talk about that, so expect a Joe's and Juice soon. Maybe this weekend. I don't know. Who knows? It's a mystery. I don't even know. That's why I can't tell you. And of course, if you want to support the channel today, be part of today's conversation, you can do exactly that. Anything over £4 or $4, then Friday we'll read out your super chat. Literally, be a part of today's show. Go down in history. It will forever live on YouTube, and I appreciate you. It helps contribute to the channel. And of course, you can hit that join button as well and literally be part of the channel. It is as simple as that. And MCU Collector said he's ready to jump in and replace Brandon. So I'm going to actually send MCU Collector the link since Brandon has been abducted by aliens. MCU Collector, I'm going to Instagram you the link right now, because this man should be able to talk about some MCU figures, that is for sure. MCU, let's find you. All right. I'm sending you the Zoom link. Brian, you've got it. Brandon says he's working on it. Not sure what happened. It just froze and crashed, so I've restarted. Okay, not a problem. But anyway, hit that join button. It's on the screen. I appreciate you. Let me go back to the main screen. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Brandon's back. Okay. Let's see. Let's wait for him to pop back in. There he is. The anticipation. And he's back! Where did you go? We thought you got abducted by aliens or something.
Honestly, I have no idea what happened. I was just sitting here, and then you stopped, and I thought, no, please don't tell me that the stream has crashed. Please tell me I've crashed. And then my Zoom kind of quit, and then I went onto the stream on YouTube, and I saw you were still going, but I'd frozen.
Me panicking, rambling.
Just went black.
Yeah, I was rambling. I was panicking. I'm not going to lie. I was like, what's going on? Brandon's been abducted by aliens.
And then I restarted the computer, and then it was telling me that I could connect to my Wi-Fi and all.
Hang on, Bring Toys to Work is coming to the rescue.
Bring Toys to Work donated $25. Celebrate the introduction of the Marvel Legends Legacy Collection with a live stream that is carving out a legacy of its own in the collector community.
I like what he did there. Thank you very much, Michael. As always, massive. He's basically a sponsor of the channel at this point. But Bring Toys to Work says celebrate the introduction of Marvel Legends Legacy Collection with a live stream that is carving carving out a legacy of its own in the collector community. I like that. Can I put that on a t-shirt or on a banner or something? Not just...
Absolutely.
I like that. That's going in my Instagram bio or something. I like it, Michael. Thank you very much. So, Brandon, while you're away, I was saying hello to the people in the chat. I did my housekeeping, so I got all that out of the way. So that when you came back, we can talk some toys. Laser Pants with a super chat as well, real quick. Let's see what he has to say.
Laser Pants donated $9.99. Break out the Earl Grey. It's negativity time.
Oh no! It's Captain Negativity is back. He's trying to poison YouTube with his toxic toy talk. No, I'm only joking. I did jump in. I woke up like last night in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, and I just picked up my phone to see the time, and I scrolled and I seen he was live. So obviously it's late on a work night, so I couldn't watch. But I did jump in and just said, raise the prices. We need to spend more money on toys. I just started throwing the positivity out there, and just to try and shake him off. But he held it quite well.
What was it? What did you say this was on?
This was on Laser Pants Live.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know there was such a thing.
There is. Brand new, sporadic. But I'll tell you what isn't brand new. This guy, let me press some buttons and make sure I get him in properly. I'm pressing accept. We're talking about MCU stuff today, Brandon. So,
we are indeed.
What a
it
perfect,
makes sense to have the one and only.
What an absolute perfect
there he
guest
is.
to talk about some MCU. Let's ask Brian. Brian, what's MCU stand for? It's a tough one.
Yeah. Sorry, I had both audios going at the same time. I didn't know if it was the YouTube stream that I was watching or if it was you.
Well,
talking.
You're here with us now live, and we appreciate you jumping in for this MCU cameo. Usually, if I had someone of your caliber coming on, I'd be promoting it a little bit more. But I noticed you right on Instagram that you were available to watch today. So you you off work? Are you chilling today or something like that?
I have COVID again,
oh, no.
so I am not working.
Oh yeah, I saw your story earlier today.
No. Hope you're doing okay, my friend.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Last night, sleeping either last night, early this morning was a bit rough, but I'm okay.
Good. Well, hopefully we can distract you for just a little bit, my friend, because this is the perfect time to have you on, because I think since I started doing these streams, I've always said to Brian, I need to have you on for like an MCU-centric show. And I know he's popped on and made a few cameos here and there. But today, we actually have some relevant, brand new MCU toy news to talk about. So let's get straight to it. Let me throw up the pictures on the screen. Hopefully you can see the Streamlabs in the Zoom call, Brian, yeah?
I can.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Cool. Right. So today, Marvel Legends Legacy Collection. Brand new. None of us have ever heard about this before, and it got launched today, I believe, on toybook.com. Not a site that I was too familiar with, but obviously Hasbro are working there, and they've revealed lots of Black Panther products. But in regards to Marvel Legends, it's called this Marvel Studios Legacy Collection. And Brandon, you noticed something on the blurb that you found very interesting. You even put it in your story. So what did it say exactly?
It said, the Marvel Studios Legacy Collection will honor other films from the MCU, and it's kicking off with the Black Panther Legacy Collection of toys.
Nice.
Hasbro is reissuing select toys to honor and celebrate the impact and legacy of director Ryan Coogler's groundbreaking 2018 film that starred the late Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, the Black Panther.
Beautiful. So that's great that we're getting some. So basically, let's just get into it, all right? Black Panther Marvel Legends. Now, we have seen these before, but they may have a few tweaks. So I have got a few comparison pictures to show. But before we dive into it, just first thoughts on this concept. I'll throw it over to you, Brian. What do you think about this legacy collection, and is Black Panther the right place to start with it?
I think so. I think a lot of it, if you look at the secondary market on some of these figures, it makes sense. Not all of the figures, the Shuri one, probably not, because just everyone in the comments today just not happy.
She's the most
Shuri
recent as well, to be fair, though, isn't she? Like she came out.
True. That is true. So, I understand what they're doing, and I like the concept of going back to older MCU figures for those that may have missed out. Even Dan Yoon on Twitter had posted that, this is something for those that are either new to collecting or missed out on those figures beforehand. So I'm cool with it. The Shuri figure is probably the best one in my opinion because it gets the most updates in the deco. It makes the most sense to me. So I'm actually really happy with the Shuri one, whereas the other ones not as much. Nakia is cool, but the other ones I don't really need. But it's cool. I mean, it's one of those things, it's a nice idea, but it's not going to be for everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah, but again, like this is the collecting community. As I said, there's many people. There's lots of different jumping on spots for people. So veterans like us, of course, we've got these figures in our collection already. But there's new people coming on, or just catching up, or maybe they couldn't get these figures at the time. It's that type of opportunity, but it's also it gives us options, and options is never a bad thing. And the options it gives us is, do we want to upgrade the figures to maybe a more screen accurate look, which is something I do always try to do. But Brandon, what do you think? Just first impressions of this new line. We will break down these figures and the comparisons as well.
Yeah, man, I love the idea. I think it's brilliant. I think it's something that fans have been asking for in terms of a legacy collection for Marvel Studios. I can think of a bunch of figures off the top of my head that would do well on this line, such as Yondu, Mantis,
of course,
from Guardians alone, as well as Crossbones could come back. There are different Iron Man armors that could come back, War Machine armors that could come back. We could see Falcon from the Winter Soldier in this line first time maybe. I think it's a great idea. I think that given how popular the Infinity Saga figures were as well last year, everybody is always asking to fill those gaps in the collection, in the MCU display. So whether this is a line that is simply reissues, I think it would be fine because there are certain ones that have gone up on the aftermarket. If it's something that we could see a mix of figures down the line of, existing characters and new characters, I think it's a great subline to be able to do that.
Well, let's break down.
And I think this is a fantastic place to start.
Well, I speculated earlier in the sort of chat with Brandon is that there's a lot of secrecy surrounding the movie Black Panther. We haven't really seen a lot of leaks and character designs. No one really knows what story they're going to tell. Obviously, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, it sort of changed the whole landscape of the Black Panther's sort of section of the MCU. So I thought this could be a wave where maybe Marvel and Hasbro didn't really have much to go on to get some figures out in time for the release. But the movie, when's it out? When's the Black Panther movie out?
November. Originally July.
So there's still plenty of time. And
it's still on track, right?
Yeah.
I think Bring Toys to Network, he had told me that the news out of CinemaCon was that it's still on track for November.
Good.
Correct.
Good. Yeah. So there is plenty of time for another sort of more second movie accurate wave. This is just because I remember last time they did the first wave, and then I remember the Marvel team saying in some sort of interview that wave did so well. The actual Marvel went to Hasbro, we need more Black Panther merchandise or something like that, and then Wave 2 came out of that. I believe it was something vaguely like that anyway, because this was one of the few single movies anyway, that got 2 complete waves. We got the Okoye Build-A-Figure wave and then the M'Baku Build-A-Figure wave. So let's just go down. Let's just break these down real quick. Let's just go through these. And I have got a side-by-side comparison of these first. But firstly, we've got the Black Panther with the Vibranium with the purple. This is a great figure anyway, right? And this is one that was going up on the aftermarket, I believe, Brian.
Yeah, that one, I think Ryan Ting had tweeted the action figure 411, whatever that website is that tracks what the value is. And that one's at $47 or whatever it is. It's a really cool figure. I really like that body. It's not one that I felt we needed again, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any differences between that one and the previous release one, so I didn't take a real good look at it though.
Well, let's do exactly that. Because first and foremost, right, forget that it's a re-release. Just the figure itself is a great figure. Brandon's showing it off. It's the Vibranium sort of powered up suit from the Black Panther movie. I think that's the only that was the first place we've seen the sort of purple in the suit. It comes with the unmasked Chadwick Boseman head. The first one didn't. It looks like the first release comes with the M'Baku head. Is that, or is that not? No, it's an M'Baku arm.
No, that's
the Chadwick Boseman head.
No, it came with the Chadwick Boseman head.
Good. I was just checking. So just initially looking at both of those, this one just seemed like a straight up re-release without a build. Obviously, nothing in this Legacy collection is a builder-figure. No builder-figure in this, but it is the same standard Marvel Legends packaging. And this packaging, like, again, this is a topic we can probably talk about later, but this packaging isn't going to be around too much longer. Like, so is this the first and only Legacy collection wave we're going to see with the window box packaging? Like, possibly. Ooh. Yeah, maybe. This is what I mean. Like,
that's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I genuinely feel like I need Hasbro to let us know when it's like the last Build-A-Figure wave in the window packaging, just so I know, because I feel like that's a moment right there. But yeah, like this year, like if there are more Legacy collection lines, they may be different. But anyway, there's that figure. Let's keep bouncing through. Brandon, you were showing that figure off. You're a fan of this one, right?
Yeah, man. I think that we got super chat.
It's all right. You got us a couple of seconds. I'll tell you when it pops up.
I think this is great. For exactly the same reason as Brian mentioned, that this is expensive on the aftermarket. It's at least double the price now.
Yeah.
I mean, your boys got toys just said in the chat that he tried to get the Purple Panther figure, but it was so expensive that he got the Mafex reissue for close to the same price.
Oh wow.
So I think as well, a lot of people forget that the first wave of Black Panther figures came out in late 2017, a few months ahead of the February 2018 release date of that movie. And the second wave...
There you go. There's the Ultimate Carnage Super Chat. Thank you very much.
Carnage donated £4.49. I think Hasbro should bring out figures we don't have yet in our collection, for example Iron Man Mark II, and do a few re-releases such as Nick Fury.
Yes, a great comment there, Ultimate Carnage. He says, I think Hasbro should bring out figures we don't yet have in this collection, for example Iron Man Mark II, and just do a few free releases like Nick Fury. Yeah, we will. I do want to sort of just see what the chat think on what movies would be perfect for this line once we've gone through these Black Panther figures. But yes, that is a good example, because I reckon you can get a Mark II without making any new molds. Do you know what I mean? It is Iron Man, but thank you very much, Ultimate Carnage. And you said second wave, Brandon, before I jumped in.
And the second wave came out a year later, in I think January, February time of 2019. So if you think about it in that from that perspective, these figures came out pre-Endgame.
Yeah,
it was that long ago.
Yeah,
and
so many fans. 3-year anniversary just a few days ago.
Yesterday, so a lot of fans weren't even aware of Legends when the first wave came out. A lot of fans came on board when Infinity War came out. A lot of fans came on board when Endgame came out. So this line, I think it speaks to how Hasbro actually understand their customer base, that you're always going to have new people that are coming on board that weren't able to get these figures, that aren't longtime collectors like the three of us who have every single version of T'Challa in our inventories. And so I think it's a great jumping on point. I think it's a great figure. Do I wish that this was completely pinless with fists, relaxed hands, clawed hands, 3 heads? Sure, of course I do. But I think for what it is, it's a great body. I think it captures the character very, very well. And I think a lot of people are going to be happy to get their hands on this, especially given the updated deco. And I think if you're a mint on card collector, that box is nice, especially when we know that the
sorry, Brandon,
plastic packaging is not going to be around much longer.
I was just going to say, do you think this is the best MCU version of Black Panther out right now?
Yeah, this version and the depowered version for sure.
Yeah, do you agree as well,
sure.
Brian? Which is the best?
Yeah,
this is the best.
I think the depowered version is better because it's more versatile. I think as a standard suit, as opposed to the vibranium.
It's more his mind's eye,
energy.
Yeah.
So, real quick, because you had sent me this out. You picked this up for me.
I did, yeah.
So this one right here, hanging this up on the wall, is how I have it. This is it's the same figure. It's definitely the best one, but the all black one, definitely I think looks better.
I agree. That's my mind's eye. Black Panther is all black, so I agree. This figure, but they've went for the vibranium, and I don't mean this to sound like a morbid point, but like since these figures have came out, and obviously we've had more movies, more appearances in the MCU. Also, Chadwick Boseman has passed away in that time, right? And I don't mean that to sound like a morbid point, but it's a fact that type of stuff happening affects the collecting market, not just Legends, but like just collecting in general. And that probably helped boost the prices of Black Panther figures on the aftermarket too. So there may have been a younger lad asking his dad for a Black Panther figure to represent it on the shelf, but he couldn't get it because the market had sort of pushed it up. So this is an opportunity for everyone to get a Black Panther if you want one. Yeah. Again, I don't mean that to sound like a morbid point, but it's just reality, isn't it?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because I remember that weekend, Facebook, eBay, you name it, it was flooded with, has anyone got a Black Panther? Has anyone got a Black Panther? I need this T'Challa. I need that T'Challa. So one thing I actually just thought of, because I think Cap Liv said in the chat that he would have loved for this to have been the depowered version. I wonder if we are getting this version in this line because maybe we will get a more updated, definitive T'Challa, a newer version of that down the line. Well, like for
just to tease a conversation that we're going to talk about later. In the Marvel interviews, in several of the interviews, they teased an A-list character getting that brand new body, and a lot of people are assuming it's Daredevil. What happens if it's a new comic Black Panther?
I think it would be a new comic Black Panther, because why would you give Daredevil toe articulation? I mean, I could see why you would, but I think it applies more to Black Panther than it does to Daredevil. But the thing is that I think this wave is additional, right? This wave is not. I know they haven't confirmed the Black Panther wave for Wakanda Forever yet, but we know that every movie gets a wave, and so I'm kind of wondering. I mean, think about everything recently. All the main characters of shows or of movies recently have had pinless updates and all the rest of it. I could see it being that, well, let's give them the vibranium version in this line, and then a newer updated definitive version, because like Bryant said, this is your definitive suit. Yeah. I could see them doing that for sure.
Let's keep going, because there are a few tweaks and changes, and this is exactly one of them. Now, Killmonger had several releases, I believe, the first time around, because he had multiple uniforms in the movie, but he also had more than one release of this particular suit as well. Now, looking at this figure, first of all, it looks great. It looks like they've updated the helmet as well to be more movie accurate with the gold. But the one thing that bugs me is that it's still got the inaccurate hairstyle. I know that's stupid, people, but that's where my mind goes. When he wore the this sort of the Jaguar suit in the film, he had the braided hair. He didn't have this hairstyle. Yeah. So like seeing this head on this particular suit is actually inaccurate to the movie, which it still looks great and it will still work on a shelf. Trust me, I've got mine on display anyway, of course. But the pickiness of me goes, if only they just tweaked that hair to be more accurate, this figure would have been perfect, because the helmet looks new. It's still got the same weapons. But what do you think of this one, Brian, and the changes they've made to it?
The changes are cool. The helmet, for sure. I never thought about the hair being incorrect. So that's a very good point. But again, this is one that I don't know that it was necessary to release that. I think the tactical suit would have been a better release here than that version.
With the mask.
With the mask.
Yeah, that's
because that one did get 2 releases already, whereas the tactical one only had the 1 release. So I think the tactical version would have been a better choice. But it's still cool. The updated mask that does go a long way, and when you want to display something. If you have all your movie figures together for a certain movie or whatever and you display it together, it does look a lot better.
Yeah. Again, I always want the most accurate versions of figures on my shelf, but when the changes are so minimal like they seem to be here, it's like, I don't know if I can actually, especially when prices are going up and I have to be more picky with my buying. I'm like, can I really buy it even though I want it? Like, it's like, I don't know. But what do you think, Brandon, of this one and the changes they've made?
I really like the redeco here for sure, especially on the helmet, as Bryant mentioned. I completely agree with you as far as the head sculpt goes. I would have liked to have seen some fists this time around as well, but I get why we wouldn't have done, given that we already had 2 pairs of hands here already. I think as well that the tactical suit would have been cool, but I think that based on like the finale of the movie, I can see why this would make more sense. Maybe not everyone was able to pick up that. I think it was a Target exclusive 2-pack.
Brian,
you have the one with the Stan Lee legs?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. You've actually got the only one with the Stan Lee leg, right?
Yeah, the Build-A-Figure Stan Lee logo right there.
That is such a unique piece in the collection. So, Brian, explain what that is for people that may not know.
So, this was never announced, but there was the rumblings of the 2-pack. So you have the Everett Ross and Killmonger 2-pack and the Winter Soldier and Falcon 2-pack that were coming out. And then there was rumblings of a Stan Lee figure, Build-A-Figure between those 2 Target exclusive 2-packs. The 2-packs at the time weren't real big sellers. It was a good way to push for sales of these 2. But at some point, the Stan Lee Build-A-Figure had gotten canceled. It was never announced, so canceled. There was never any kind of announcement. So when they started hitting Target, there was no Stan Lee pieces. It was just Everett Ross and Killmonger. And then lo and behold, on eBay one day, it was up for auction, and I got it for like $40 or something. It was a steal. And I'm like, what? It's not mint condition or anything like that, but it's pretty damn cool, because this is what the original plan for that Stan Lee figure was, and then it got its own release.
As a collector, I think that is such a cool piece because it's very unique and it has a story to it. Like, obviously, we got Stan Lee that came out eventually anyway, but you've just got Stan Lee's legs just randomly in a legit factory sample 2-pack. Like, there can't be many out. I've never seen another one. I know you got yours, but I've not seen another one.
I remember when it was first getting released, Robot Kingdom, I think they got a small amount of these and had sent them out, because when they first listed it on their website, they actually had a picture of this with the legs in there. Yeah. And then I had emailed them and stuff and asked them, like, oh no, if the ones we have don't have legs, but they had to have had a small amount of them.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool. We never actually got the Stan Lee in the Falcon 2-pack, did we? We never seen that, or we never seen the top part or anything.
I think it was that one.
Never
made it in time. Yeah.
Still pretty cool. All right, let's bounce back to these. Okay, so let me go to the comparison shot of this, because that's what it's all about. These are, if you don't have these figures, this is a perfect chance to get these characters that you missed out on at a retail price. But if you do have these figures, then this is the type of stuff you want to know. You want to know the differences. So there was multiple versions, releases of this version. One was in the 2-pack with Everett Ross that Brian just showed off. That one did have the unmasked head that you see here, but the single-packed version that came in the Okoye Build-A-Figure wave didn't have an unmasked head at all. So if you are just going to buy one, there you go. You've got an unmasked head, a more accurate helmet. You've got weapons that seem to have new deco on as well. So again, if you're a Black Panther fan, and Killmonger is a pretty cool villain in the MCU. I know he's only shown up once, but he made a statement for sure. So he's definitely worthy of being on your shelf. And I think this Killmonger one may be a great opportunity for lots of MCU fans to get this that may have missed out, because there you go. It looks pretty. I'm tempted by this one just for the upgrade alone. And I know it's only the bloody helmet, but I'm a sucker for stuff like that. But there you go. Look at that. It looks beautiful. Okay, let's keep going through. Next up.
This one as well seems darker, right? I think.
Oh, the one you're holding?
No. This one here. It
does seem like
it still has the sculpted lines, but it
seems like more deco on the chest.
Black. This one's more of a grey.
There definitely seems to be more different tones of grey and black on that from that picture, at least. Anyway,
the 2-pack was for sure like a more grey color than black, but it didn't have like the animal print to it. Whereas this new one, you can definitely see the animal print in there.
Yeah, it's nice. Again, this one I reckon will be very tempting for any Black Panther fan for sure. Now this one, Nakia. Now, Nakia was a single-packed figure in the very first Okoye Build-A-Figure wave. She's wearing the Dora Milaje outfit as well. She originally came with, if I have the image, there it is. So she originally came with the Dora body and then the 2 staffs for the Dora Build-A-Figure. But she was a lot of people brought her up first to build their own Dora. Before we got that Dora in the second wave, this was a sneaky way to sort of army build your own with maybe some custom heads in there. So this new one does seem to be a little bit different in regards to deco. You can see the actual... I don't know if they're bare-legged or she's wearing tights or something, but it definitely looks like she's wearing like some sort of leggings or something on the newer version, because the legs are a lot darker compared to the original release. You've got powered up rings. I don't know what they called that, but some sort of vibranium Wakandan weaponry. Her box seems a little bit empty though. I don't know if that's just... What else could they have put there? Maybe put the spears back in there. I don't know. But anyway, Nakia. Brandon, does this one tempt you? Are you happy with the Nakia you've got? Because, again, I'll flip through the pictures while you're talking. There are a few deco differences.
Just one thing. I just noticed that I looked so miserable just then, but I promise it's not. I just was really trying to focus.
He hates Black Panther.
I couldn't quite get this shoulder joint to move on Killmonger, and I was getting confused. Yeah, I think this looks great. I think, like you said, the main difference is being that deco on the legs there, and as well, you can see the more details on the armor. One thing that just occurred to me as well about this line is that Black Panther won the Oscar for Best Costume Design, right? And
also nominated.
There are
for Best
so
Picture.
many. Yes, and there are so many intricate parts to these costume designs that I think there wasn't quite as much of an opportunity for them really, maybe the first time around, to give it that premier deco. Like, it reminded me of what's his name? He's right there. Vulture, right? The new Target exclusive Vulture that had more premium deco than the first release, right? Because it was a Build-A-Figure the first time. This time it was an exclusive, deluxe, etc., etc.
It was also made after the movie as well. So any VR tweaks they made to the film, they could tweak to the figure after.
Exactly. And so I think that with this, especially when we get to Shuri, like Brian had mentioned, it probably has the most updates. You really get to see how the paint apps make a real difference in terms of the deco. Like, I can't see hardly any of that same detailing of the paint on this Nakia figure as I can on that one. I think there's definitely a big difference in paint apps.
Even on the little skirt flap piece, you can see they're more accurate colours on the new one, where they're not as yellowy bright. Yeah, and one point as well to make is I can see a lot of comments in the chat about, and I know you mentioned it as well, about the box being empty. I think we all need to think about Black Series for a second, right? Black Series doesn't have a ton of accessories. They have a lot of unique sculpting, and they try to focus a lot on the finer details of paint applications. You're seeing the same thing here with MCU figures, which is that when you have unique movie sculpts that you can't just, you couldn't put 3 Wolverines on a body or 3 different Bucky Cap style characters on these bodies like you could do those bodies. And so I think when you look at it from that perspective of what Hasbro can do within that price point, and what they're achieving here with the deco, in the same way that people willingly accept it for Black Series, I think we have to give Legends a little bit of slack here, because we're also accustomed to having 5 sets of hands and 3 heads. Just as a point, to the point you're making, I would rather have more screen accurate deco on a figure than an extra pair of hands that I probably wouldn't use anyway, if that makes sense. For the display, I think that makes more sense. Brian, what do you think of Nakia? Is she worth the rebuy?
Sure. Yeah. She has new boots too. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but she has new boots. So she is not a complete reissue necessarily like the other ones. They did a minor change there. The energy, like weapon things, that's a nice update. I don't know that that's enough to push others to buy it, with them being movie accurate. But it's definitely cool to see a better version of the Nakia figure. But I think Okoye would have been a better choice.
Agreed. Being the builder figure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting M'Baku. Why not do Okoye? But it's cool. Any updates I'm always happy with. So I'll be buying it regardless.
Before we get on to Shuri, like, are they actually changing the head sculpt? So you can't really tell too much with press shots anyway. But their deco on the face, do you reckon that's going to be improved?
I would hope it'd be improved. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume so. This is what I mean. When I see these in hand, or I start seeing reviews of these, that's going to make me go, okay, maybe I need to make the little upgrades. But okay, let's keep going through. Let's next up. So you can start us off with this one, Brian, because you said this one's got the most different deco changes and looks the most accurate now.
Yeah, because what was crazy is that Shuri figure came out so far after Black Panther that it made no sense that the figure that we got in the Hulk Build-A-Figure wave didn't have the blue of her costume. It just, I never understood it. I mean, even if you look at like Avengers Endgame, it because it's so dark, I don't know if they just assume that her costume is a darker color because it's at night in the battle and everything, but it was off. But this one, you could really look at it and say, okay, this is the first Black Panther movie Shuri. This is exactly how she looked. The other one that you have, put that with your Endgame figures. It works just as fine.
Let me find it. There you go. So there's the two. So even just from that image where the image is pretty far back, you can still see the lack of blue on the knees, on the sort of chest area as well. So yeah, this one I completely agree. It's got a decent upgrade. And again, my rule, most accurate version on the shelf. So my brain thinks, okay, I need to get this one. Again, the box, I'm just saying what I see people. Box looks a little bit empty, but again, they're using the same packaging as the Build-A-Figure without a Build-A-Figure. Of course, it's going to be less in the box, but the figure and the accessories are still exactly the same to the version before, so you're not missing out anything there. Brandon, what do you think of Shuri?
I think it looks good, man. I think the blue gives it a much more realistic texture. I think there's some yellow gold highlights in there that are really nice. I think the likeness is a little bit better maybe than the previous one, but this is the kind of likeness that I look at it and I think, okay, that's an action figure of the character of the person, as opposed to, damn, that's like a miniature version of that person.
She's also wearing something that she probably wouldn't wear on a day-to-day to catch the bus. Not that she catches buses, but
Sure, but I mean, yeah. But generally, I think it looks good.
Yeah, there you go. You can definitely see the deco updates there on the figure. But again, like we said at the very start, is that out of all these Black Panther figures, Shuri was the last one we actually got. So you could probably still find her on the shelves somewhere, maybe. Do you know, she's still very obtainable, I think. For probably
3 years ago, though.
I agree. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that she's still the most recent one out. That's still fact. But yeah, there you go. Upgrade. Let's keep going through because there's a few more. There seems to be 6 in the wave, and then Brian can explain where the rest are going. Okay, so that was Shuri. So let's go to the next ones. These 4, by the way. I've actually brought up Pulse. Those 4 that we've just talked about, Nakia, Shuri, Killmonger, and Black Panther, those 4 are the only ones that have currently went up for pre-order on all the regular retail sites, whether it's Pulse, Amazon. I'm assuming places in the US have got it up as well now, Brian, with Big Bad and stuff like that. I think everyone's getting these 4.
Toys as well.
Yeah, everyone's getting these 4. However, the other 2. Now, I've got some side-by-side pictures to show off of these. So we get another Black Panther, but this time it isn't the vibranium suit. It's still a vibranium suit, but it's not the one from the Black Panther movie. This is the Civil War one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Brandon, you noticed that this one's got actual new bits that we didn't get before.
Yeah, man. I mean, the fist is a big one. The fist is a big one. The legs kind of look different to me. I don't know if anyone else thought that. I mean, I don't know if it's just the fists, but something about this one looks really different to me. But I think it is the same figure. But yeah, the fist is the main difference here.
I'm just looking at the legs.
Right? Is it me or are the legs different? Or is it just because they're straight?
I think it's the packaging.
Because they're straight.
You can see the plastic packaging hugging the legs, overlap the legs, which makes them look a little bit.
It just makes the figure look so different.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the suit. I think the suit is great. Yeah.
So this is I love it. For the chat, this is first appearance in the MCU Black Panther. This is Civil War Black Panther.
Civil War.
When he jumps on the roof and fights Bucky, and they're chasing in the tunnel.
I guess that's a little bright, but the Civil War release one, it's the same thing.
Yeah, they re-released it in the M'Baku wave as well.
Yeah.
So this one.
So this is now the third time we're
Yeah.
getting that.
Yeah. So the very first one.
Because the first one was 2016.
Yeah.
That's Civil War.
That first one, I remember going for.
That's pre-photo reel. It's that long ago.
Yeah, that very
Let's
first
just remember
one
these things,
was wow popular. Like that first one was really hard to get because everyone wanted it. It was the only movie Black Panther. And that was also, sorry to cut you, back in the day when figures were sent out to places in assortments. Yeah.
And that was like one per case.
Yeah.
The cap in that wave was 2 per
Didn't
case.
they update the articulation on the newer version though, right?
Yeah, this version is a completely different body.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the same suit.
Of the no. The Black Panther movie figure is a completely different body to the Civil War Black Panther figure.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Yeah. But anyway, the Civil War one did get another release. So was it the Giant Man wave? You just showed that picture, Brian.
The Giant Man wave. Yeah.
Giant Man wave. That's the same with Nick Fury, right? The first Shield agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yosepi in the chat, he's been crying for a minute anyway, but he said it's the same dumb smirk. Also, wow, 3 times reused LMAO. This smirk, the only time this head sculpt was used was in the M'Baku wave. So this is the second time you're getting it.
Yeah, the first one wasn't real, wasn't digital tech. The first one was just generic black guy. It wasn't Chadwick Boseman.
Exactly. Yeah.
And again, this line isn't just for the people that already. This line is for new collectors, people that don't even have one of these heads in their collection. And I always think for characters as important as this, the person behind the mask or under the helmet are just as important to have representation on your shelf than it is the character anyway. So I love having that option. So it's never a bad thing. I've got Black Panthers on my shelf with the helmet on and with the helmet off. Do you know, I've got them both.
You know what? It's also worth noting that this is a Walmart exclusive. So for anyone complaining, you're probably not going to see it at all ever in the store anyway.
Oh, it's that time. You will. You've got a sponsorship with Walmart, ain't you?
You'll have the first review of this one.
Yeah, you're getting this. You'll find this, no problem. I'll send it you straight to your door.
So, right. And it's probably going to be an online exclusive like Walmart has been doing with their exclusives. So you're not going to find it in store. You don't want it? Don't order it. It hurts nobody that this is coming out. So either people are going to be excited and want to get it because they don't have it, or you have it, don't want it, you don't order it. It's a very simple one.
Yes,
very simple.
So, like Brian just said, this is a Walmart exclusive. This one hasn't gone up for pre-order yet anywhere. Even us in the UK, obviously we don't have Walmarts, but this one still hasn't gone up for pre-order. So we don't know if this one's just got a delayed release or some UK store will get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dan had said in his tweet something like the exclusives will go up later on in the year.
Okay.
Probably going to be another Walmart collector con somewhere down the line.
Yeah, maybe. And then the next one, again, I don't really have many promo pictures, just the one that I robbed from Brian's Instagram page. This one you said is a Target exclusive, right, Brian?
Target exclusive, yeah.
Yeah. So this one is going to be very popular because M'Baku the first time round was the actual builder figure in the waves. Was he a 6-character builder figure or an 8-character? He was a 6-character, right?
6, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously in the past you would have had to buy 6 figures to build this guy, or if you're willing to pay the extra price on the aftermarket, you could buy him complete. But even still, this was a desirable figure that's obviously a little bit more pricier. Now it seems like it's going to be normal retail price, the same price as any standard figure.
$24.99.
Yeah, yep. Which is always nice when you can get an opportunity for a builder figure, especially if you missed out. Not for someone like us, who already have him back on the shelf, but if you missed out and you couldn't pay the price for the builder figure, this is a perfect opportunity. So this is for you. There you go. It's a great figure as well, Brian, right?
I have, it is. I have an extra one that I've been meaning to sell and have not gotten around to it.
Ah, damn. You did not need today's reveal. Yeah, that's $24.99 someone's going to offer you for that.
Right.
So do you reckon this is a good choice for this type of wave? in this legacy line to have the maybe more harder figure to get, obviously the builder figure, to be single packed a few years after release?
Yeah, it's cool.
But you don't need one because you've already got 2 on the shelf.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon? Do you think
I think this is great.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a new collector, you don't have to go back. You don't have to try and buy 6 figures on the aftermarket. You don't have to waste time searching for it, spend more money than you should do getting it. And if you look at this thing, this is one of the most unique sculpts of all the MCU figures that they've done. The amount of detail in this thing, and you're going to be getting it for $25.
Doesn't seem
Yeah,
like too much change,
the paint is crazy on this guy. All the shading and everything with all the fur and all the armor pieces. It is pretty crazy.
And M'Baku's meant to play a big part in the next movie as well. Again, no one knows what yet, but obviously he's going to be in it. But looking at the 2 here, so this one obviously is the builder figure. This is the new single packed version, and there isn't any real difference apart from maybe a little bit of difference in the deco. Maybe the head sculpt looks a little bit better as well. Zooming in on that again, we don't really have many images, but maybe the head's got that little bit better deco for the likeness to the actor. But these look very similar. But again, this is for someone who doesn't have the M'Baku builder figure to get it at a very reasonable price. You will get this figure cheaper than anyone who brought it on the aftermarket for sure, because builder figures don't go for $24.99. That's a fact. But there you go. That is the Black Panther Wave. So you got those 4 re-releases plus the M'Baku plus the Civil War. So yeah, Legacy Collection. So let's go back and actually just take a moment to talk about the potential of the Legacy Collection. So I want you both to pick a movie from the MCU. Now we're like 25, 26 movies deep now at this point. That this line should go back and revisit, whether it's reissues of hard to find characters or characters they maybe missed in that particular movie. Because I don't think this line has to be exclusively reissues. Why not throw in a few extra new characters in there as well as an excuse to release them? So do you have one in mind, Brian?
That's tough.
It is.
There's lots of stuff.
Yeah, the chat can get involved in this as well, and I'll read a couple out. So I always say this, but if you were in that boardroom and the Hasbro team look at you and go, right, pick the next MCU movie that gets the Legacy Collection treatment, whether it's a mix of reissues or maybe new characters, pick the movies. Lazy Pants in the chat also says, screw new collectors. See what I mean? Just spreading that negativity. He's only joking.
Caleb says, I'm really new to collecting Marvel Legends. I started in 2020, so I love that they're releasing old figures.
Exactly. This is who this line is for.
Also, Brian, you know when you put up your picture of M'Baku earlier, and you know how when you do it and you put like the pictures that Hasbro sends you, and then there's like the little information underneath with the price and stuff, and like it says available for. Did it say that M'Baku was going to be $24.99?
Yes.
So Rectangular said, no way that M'Baku will be $25. Well, Rectangular, it will be $25.
Super chat from Pack Photos real quick.
Pack Photos donated $9.99.
Thank you very much, Pack.
What up, fellas? Sign of the Horns. Looking forward to see what other figures are going to be re-released for the Legacy Collection down the road. Crossed fingers, Yondu. Crossed fingers.
Yeah, exactly what Brandon said earlier. Thank you very much to Pack Photos. He said, what's up, fellas? Looking forward to see what other figures are going to be re-released for the Legacy Collection down the road. Fingers crossed, Yondu. You did a live stream with Pack Photos yesterday, right, Brandon?
Yes.
Talking MCU as well.
Yeah. We were talking about... Yes, we were talking about the Avengers, which, I mean, for a Legacy Collection and being the 10th anniversary of that movie, this would be perfect for it.
Yeah,
but definitely, if you're a big fan of that first Avengers movie, go and check out Pack Photos' stream from yesterday. We had a great time.
Much appreciated. Thank you very much for the super chat, Pack Photos. I was there. I was popping in and out while I was walking the dog. Appreciated. So. You also showed proof, by the way. Brian was holding up his phone, showing the blurb that says M'Baku is $24.99. So, and why wouldn't it be?
That's straight from the press release.
Yeah.
Rectangular went quiet. He probably went to go and double check what he does and doesn't know.
Okay,
or he's playing with X-Men figures.
So the chat are picking a few films, but I still want to know your guys' picks. Brian, are you going to pick one? Your mind may change tomorrow. As us collectors are, we're never satisfied with our pick. But right now, what do you think would be a great idea for this Legacy Collection?
The first Avengers movie. Just give us the 6 original Avengers, like new figures though, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
New sculpts on every single one of them.
Yeah, forget this line being reissues. We want new figures. Go back and revisit these films with new figures.
Yeah, don't give us that crappy Captain America figure that was released so many times as just terrible figure.
It was a kick in the balls. They gave it us twice in the Endgame wave. They gave us that figure, and to be fair, they had a reason. It was
3 times. 3 times that figure was released technically, right? It was the Walmart exclusive, that Hulkbuster wave.
Yes, you're right.
And then that Endgame wave, like that Endgame wave, that was ridiculous for a figure that came out in 2012 to come out, almost 10 years later or 8 years later, whatever it was. Like, really, that was crazy.
Yeah, kicking the balls. Brian, did you agree with Avengers? You just said it yourself anyway, but Avengers would be
good
pick.
Any other Avengers, I think the core 6, plus Fury, Coulson, and Hill, and Loki from that film, for sure. The other place my mind goes to is Age of Ultron. Yeah. You've got Rhodey in that movie that could, with his Mark II armor, I believe, that could get an update. You've got Falcon in that movie that could get an update. You've got the Mark 43 and the Mark 45 in that movie that could get an update. Scarlet Witch from that movie.
We never got an Infinity. Ultron.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, we never got an Age of Ultron version of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. We had to wait years to get Quicksilver, and we've got a few Scarlet Witches, but never that look from Age of Ultron. So I'd love that. So yeah, to be fair, pick any of the Avengers films, and you could make a Legacy Collection.
Fortress Matimus said, "Is this basically going to be a continuation of Infinity from last year? MCU stealing all the events these days?" Just in case, I don't know if I'm reading it right, but MCU stealing all the events these days, yet we just got 7 or 8 or 9 items dedicated to Spider-Man. Come on, guys. Sorry to fact check a lot of you as we go along here, but just think about what you're saying before you say it.
Tac Talks with Films says, completely agree, MCU collector, Cap Avengers 2012. He's saying, yeah, it's terrible. He doesn't want it. He agrees with you.
Bill North said Falcon wasn't in Ultron. When they introduced... Yeah, when they introduced the new Avengers at the end of Age of Ultron?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Falcon's there, right?
Yeah. So Scarlet Witch was a weird hairdo that you never see again.
Yeah.
CGI hair or something like that.
Yeah. And Rhodey was on like the was at Sokovia with Tony and
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He was helping
double checking.
He was helping on the hovercraft thing, whatever.
We actually have that we have that War Machine though.
The Mark II.
Yes, we have the Age of Ultron Mark II War Machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Came in the Hulkbuster wave.
You know what? To go back, because everyone's talking about the MCU and the comic figures and stuff, and I know this gets brought up a lot. And Hasbro will never say what sells more, if it's comic or MCU. And I don't have any numbers to back this up, but it is my belief that MCU figures sell more, simply for the fact that any casual fans are going to pick them up based off of the movies. Right, and it's no secret that the MCU figures saved the Marvel Legends line.
Facts.
Years ago, it was the MCU. It was the movie figures that really saved Marvel Legends and really brought it back. I love comic figures too. I love MCU figures more, but the MCU figures, with the tie-ins to the movies, that's what gets them onto the store shelves. And that's what sells. People, with the exception of the Turtles, that we don't count that. But I'm telling you, because everyone will look, peg warmer, all it sells and everything. If you go back, movie figures always sell more, and you will see comic figures tend to peg warm more than movie figures. Also, exception Wasp and Ant-Man.
I think it's also a factual statement, whether people like to hear it or not. And I don't mean this in a negative way. Like, I enjoy both, but I genuinely think currently on the planet right now, more people are watching MCU movies than they are going out reading comic books. Is that not true? I don't mean it to be negative, and I'm not saying 100%. Pick a side. I enjoy both, but I'm just saying if we really want to do go and do the statistics and check out how many people are actually buying or downloading digital comics, whatever, I do think like Endgame being one of the most successful movies in history, full stop, period, like financially at least anyway, like it just speaks to the point. A lot of these characters have been introduced to people in pop culture through the movies, not through the comics. So I agree. Like, I know, like we're in a community where there's a mix of people that obviously grew up in different generations, and even us, we know these characters not from the MCU because we were aware of these characters way before the movie started. But it's not I don't think you're wrong at all, Brian. I do think when 2014, when they made that switch and started sort of leaning into the movie sort of tie-ins, it was just a good marketing move. Put the figures on the shelf that look like what you're seeing on the movie screens right now. But I'm going to pick for the Legacy Collection, by the way, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Because I really like Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie, like still up there, maybe in my top 5 MCU. Just it's one of my go-to MCU movies if I just want something on in the background or something. And those first figures never had like the likeness or whatever, so it's not like I'd want reissues of those particular figures, but I'd want new updated versions of their looks from the very first Guardians of the Galaxy with the proper likenesses. Again, just because I'm a fan of that film and I think it would look great in this sort of Legacy Collection sort of statement, even though I still think we may never get another Legacy Collection line without in a window box, because again that's the way we're heading. But yeah, and again, everything I'm saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not telling you to have to pick a side. I enjoy both comic and MCU. I think you're an idiot who thinks you have to pick a side. I think you're just selfish. You can enjoy both. And the chat are agreeing. The chat are like, even the comic fans have to, like, Rob Pollock, we know is a big comic guy. He said you're 100% correct, Dan. Comics are the lowest sales in their lifetime. And that's sad. It makes me sad. It's not like I want comics to fail. Of course I don't. Just think all these great movies we're getting, their sources are from the comics. Of course we don't want them to fail, but it's just the way the world's going. Media's sort of changed, and the way people consume media is different. Try and get kids to play with toys these days when you've got computer games to contend with. Like, we were playing with toys probably when we're still hitting double digits, when we were 10 or 11. Now kids are probably out of toys by like 8 or 9 because of computer games. You can speak to that, Brian, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, my kids don't care. They don't give a damn about toys and haven't for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, but we're from a different generation. That's why we collect all this nonsense now, because we gravitate towards it. As I said, we're in the golden age right now. We're in that pocket, that sweet pocket of nostalgia. And 10 years' time, the world will be a different place, because that next generation coming through ain't going to care too much about having physical representations of their Switch games they used to like, or whatever it is. But so enjoy the moment. Enjoy all these figures we're getting, whether it's comic or MCU. If you don't want something, you don't have to be negative about it online. You can just not buy it. Do you know that scene in Forgetting Sarah Marshall where he asks the guy, "Did you listen to my mixtape?" And Russell Brand just goes, "I was going to do that, but then I just continued living my life." Right? That's what you do when you don't like a Marvel Legend, right? Before you go and type something negative in a YouTube chat, just go, "No, I'll just carry on living my life, because it's not going to make a difference." Hasbro ain't here in the boardroom watching, going, "Do you know what? Jimmy Boy from Massachusetts said he doesn't like MCU figures. Right, cut it, stop it, tell the factory to turn the machines off." It's not how it works, people, all right? Not how it works. Okay, do you want to stick around for a little bit, MCU Collector? We're sort of going to just discuss those interviews and just some of the nuggets that came from them. It's completely up to you. You made your nice cameo talking MCU, but you're an ill man, and I don't want to keep you if you don't need to be here.
Yeah, I am going to bow because I am getting a bit of a headache. But thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in. We appreciate the cameo. Your MCU Collector making a cameo on an MCU stream made perfect sense. But before you go, let me read out the super chat.
Ultimate Carnage donated £4.49. We need a Legacy Collection Captain America Winter Soldier wave with civilian cap grin.
Thank you very much, Ultimate Carnage. We need a Legacy Collection Captain America Winter Soldier wave with a civilian cap. That would be great. I know we'd all three of us here would love a civilian cap. But let's let Brian get out of here. Brian, obviously, I'm sure people know who you are. But for maybe the one person who don't, probably my mum watching. Hello, Mum. She's not watching. She doesn't have a YouTube channel. Tell the people where they can find you online.
MCU Collector 24 at all my social media channels.
And if you find MCU Collector 23, he's an imposter. All right, he's an imposter.
Yeah.
He's not the
Don't
guy.
Don't follow that guy.
No, not that guy. Brian, thank you very much. We'll let you go. Get well soon, my friend.
Thank you.
See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And then there was 2. That was great of Brian to jump in. Thank you very much to MCU Collector. As always, again, time zones don't always work for me and Brandon to have celebrities on the stream, but I'm a big supporter of Brian, have been for a long time. And we were talking MCU today, so it worked out perfectly. Not that I wish COVID
absolutely.
on any man, but still, if it works to our advantage, happy days. Thank you once again to Brian. MCU Collector 24, much appreciated. Any final thoughts on all this Legacy Collection talk, Brandon, before we move on?
I think in a second I'm gonna drop out and jump back in, just because
Don't
just
leave
as
me
you
on my
guys
own
were
again.
just as you guys were talking just then, it started to sort of lag and go a bit weird. So I might drop out and jump back in. But
drop out
although
now.
it seems okay for a minute though.
I'm giving you a get out if you need to, and I'll jump to the chat and talk to the chat for a few minutes if you want to jump out and jump in.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that,
cool.
and I'll jump back
Alright,
in.
cool.
Just because that way I'll be able to keep up.
YouTube chat and all yours. I'm live right now. It is 9 minutes past 9 on the 28th of April 2002. I am all yours. Let me know your thoughts on this Legacy line. Let me read out a couple of things. Thank you once again to MCU Collector. Rich has just dropped his YouTube channel. I will pin it to the top of the chat. Bring Toys to Work once again.
Bring Toys to Work donated $25.
This man.
Here's some positivity.
This man is too good to me. Honestly, people, too good to me. Bring Toys to Work. He's throwing in, here's some positivity. I appreciate you. It genuinely does. Thank you very much, Michael. Much appreciated. And you should go and check out, again, if you've been following these streams for the last couple of months and you know who Bring Toys to Work is, go and check out his Instagram. Go and check out his Facebook page. Go and check out his epic displays. The man used to bring toys to work, but now we all work from home, so he builds these epic displays at home instead. So go and check out his recent X-Men one. He's also got a couple of Moon Knight ones up there as well, because Moon Knight's still going on. Much appreciated, Michael. You know you are. Thank you for supporting, as always. And thank you to everyone who's still here in the chat, talking Marvel Legends. Again, let's hear some more Legacy Collection stuff before Brandon comes back in here. I know a civilian cat would be a great idea. I'm not going to be mad at that at all. I would like more civilian characters. I'd love a Sharon Carter as well, like an MCU Sharon Carter. I know she appeared in Falcon and Winter Soldier, the series, but she was also in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the movie. She was the neighbor, remember? She was the nurse. So, well, the fake nurse that didn't want to do her laundry at his house. But yeah, there you go. Rob Pollock says, my son would rather watch YouTube players play Minecraft than play with toys as well. Once in a while, he'll pick up toys again, but mostly he's a YouTube kid. And yeah, I don't even have kids, but I have nieces, nephews, family, friends with kids, and that's just the way the next generation are coming through. Just think, we're all, if you're my age, if you're born in the late 80s, grew up in the 90s, we were there during the renaissance of technology and computer games and Sega Mega Drive, Genesis, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, all of that. So like, that was new to us, and it was something we had to get used to, where these kids are growing up and it's just the norm. Like, I remember my niece was like really young, and she's seen a TV screen and she was pressing the TV screen to try and change the channel because she was so used to playing it with her iPad. I used to think pressing a screen to do stuff was like something I'd seen out of Star Trek. I used to always want to watch that I could talk to people on because of Star Trek. And now you can actually do that on an Apple Watch. You know, like, technology's just moved on so quick. You can't blame kids for wanting to do some VR and escape reality than they do play with plastic toys. So that's why we're in that sweet pocket of collecting right now, all right? So enjoy it and enjoy all these figures we're getting. Just buy what you want, skip what you don't want. It's not a problem. Just don't have to be mad about it. And yeah, enjoy these collections because it's not going to be around forever. Let me go to the chat real quick. Yondu and Stealth Cat for me in the Legacy collection. That is very true. That Yondu, I think, would be a very popular choice. And Brandon is back. Let me just press some buttons and get him back in. Does that made a difference, Brandon, to your stream?
I think so, yeah. I think you sound much smoother now.
Maybe it was just my new smooth voice I'm putting on for radio. I'm Dan. Dan Who Reviews Live. Does that make a difference? Just my new smooth voice.
Yeah, okay.
Civilian clothes, Black Widow from Winter Soldier again. Yeah, a lot of people want civilian stuff, which again, so do I. I always think, I say this all the time, I said it earlier on, I think like Peter Parker is just as important as Spider-Man. Do you know, like that type of thing? Steve Rogers is just as important as Captain America. Do you know, without the man behind the mask, there is no hero. Do you know? So I know some of them are monikers and they can pass it on, like obviously Cap's Falcons, the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. But still, Sam Wilson is just as important as Captain America. So again, I like having those options for the display. That's why interchangeable heads are so important. And I did try and sneak it out of the Hasbro team on my interview about the new what is it called, movie figures, but they didn't want to give anything up. So I don't know. We may be getting some new hands though. That's about it. Okay, Brandon. There was some interviews this week. Did you watch any?
Yes, I did. Can you guess my favorite? It's probably easy to guess who's my favorite was.
X-Manny.
Yeah. No. I said no. I said my favorite, Dan.
Oh, Eva Vera.
Oh God. Okay, let's start at the top of my list, not the bottom of my list.
Of course, it must be Shartimus Prime.
Every is and just to reiterate, my list is everyone else, and then there's my favorite, and then there's everyone else on an equal level. Happy, loving, very positive, non-grumpy man on the internet field.
I don't know who it could be. But as long as you watch mine, I'll be happy with that. I was a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
To be completely honest with everyone here watching, go and check out my interview with the Hasbro team on the channel right now. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen to show you. So on Monday night, we basically after the fan first, you get contacted by PR. To be completely transparent, it's not a secret. After the fan first, you get contacted by a PR saying, "Would you like to do an interview?" Respond accordingly. But first, I'll let Friday read this out. Thank you very much. Dio Romo says Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Yondu and its Dick Tracy watch was before Star Trek. I never seen Dick Tracy. Not going to lie to you. I'm aware of who it is, but I never watched it. I don't know if it ever came to the UK or not. Amanda keeps trying to throw Teddy in here as well. Do you ever watch Dick Tracy, Brandon? You're too young for Dick Tracy.
I was about to ask you what even is Dick
he's
Tracy.
Like an old spy guy. There was a toy line back in the day, and there was a movie with Madonna in it or something like that. Anyway, I don't really watch or know Dick Tracy. I remember Star Trek watches, Beam Me Up, Scotty, all of that. But yeah, Guardian Galaxy 2 would also be a good shout. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Right, thank you very much, Dio Romo, for the super chat, though. It's appreciated. So the fan first live happens, and then you get contacted by PR saying, do you want to do an interview? You respond back going, yes please. They tell you to submit your questions, so you've got to submit your questions in a timely manner because they then need to be approved by the Hasbro team or etc. or the PR etc. So you submit some questions, and then they basically tell you a sort of categories they'd like you to talk about. So obviously they just had a fan first about the Spider-Man figures, so obviously they want you to talk about those figures. They don't want me to just go, so, Ryan, do you paint your toenails? It's not what it's about. It'd be a waste of everybody's time. He does, if anyone was wondering, but it would be a waste of time to ask those questions in an interview. So you obviously ask them about the fan first, which was very Spider-Man heavy. And then if you can, you sneak in a few questions just to get a few nuggets, but keep them within theme. Obviously, they want to focus it on the toys. So I know Shartimus is a little bit sneaky talking about prices, but he's got 500,000 subs. The man can get away with murder. Well, probably not murder, but you know what I mean. Anyway,
yeah,
you weren't allowed to talk,
what you mean. You
weren't allowed to talk about prices because do you reckon Ryan, Dan and Dwight are the guys that are going, raise the prices of Marvel Legends? No, of course it's not. These are just the guys that make the toys that we love. We should be nothing but positive towards these three gentlemen. It's not them that are raising the prices. So it was irrelevant to talk to them about that. So all the people in my comments saying, why are you taking their side? You're an idiot, right? I just delete these comments at some point. So you're the idiot for wasting your time writing on my YouTube channel because no one's going to read it because I've already deleted it. But anyway, you ask them these questions and it's a lot of fun. And I always say to people, I try and turn my interviews into a conversation rather than going, question 1, will we see this figure? Because we know they can't answer that question, so why would you ask it? So you turn it into a conversation. So as always, I appreciate everyone watching. It is on the channel right now. April interview with the Hasbro team right there. 4.9 views, or just a few more views, and I can get it to 5k. That would be pretty good, wouldn't it? But yeah, go and check out my interview with the Marvel team. And I was a little bit flustered, I'm not going to lie, because X-Manny took so bloody long in his interview. I was waiting, I think, after him to do mine, and they were a little bit late, so I was just sitting around, like, just reading my questions too much, if that makes sense, Brandon. So, like, when and then I started getting lost in my questions, so I felt mine was a little bit sloppy, and I do chat a little bit too much, but I still felt we had a good conversation within the time limits that you get. And there was some good nuggets to come from that. Not just from mine. Eva Vera got some good nuggets as well.
Yeah.
That was continued on Shartamus and Toying Around's done one, of course. Toy Bro always asks some good questions. And I know a lot of people's comments, and I agree this frustration. I don't know who else has an interview. I don't know. So I can't go to Eva Vera, X Manny, Toy Bro. What questions are you asking, lads? So I can ask different questions. I don't know they're doing interviews, so I can't ask that. And because we're told to ask questions within the same category, of course some questions are going to be similar. So me and Eva Vera basically had the same questions. It's not Eve's fault, it's not my fault, it's just the way it is. But still, because the interviews are a slightly different format, and you still get different answers and different pieces of information. So I still 100% encourage you, if you are a Marvel Legends fan, go and check out all the interviews. All of them are unique in their own ways. Everyone has their own approach. Everyone gets their own little tidbits out of the Marvel team in their own different ways. And I get whatever. I know I'm a Hasbro bum pirate. Whatever. Ha ha ha. But whatever team, whatever brand is doing that. I know the Star Wars one have like all the influencers, and not that I call myself an influencer, but you know what I mean. All the people in one Zoom call, and you get to ask like one question. These guys go and give individual, and they're creating content for our channels. Do you know what I mean? I'm a small channel, so a little Marvel team interview is pretty good content for my channel. So I appreciate that. But anyway, Brandon, out of all the bits that come out, all the little tidbits of news, can you think of a couple things that stood out to you?
Yes, absolutely. So there's a few things. The first thing was about. Dwight had talked about serial numbers, which I thought was quite cool.
Pause for a second. Bring Toys to Work is making it rain again.
Bring Toys to Work donated $25. Tip for your outstanding interview. It's not always about the questions you ask. It's about charisma and conversation flow. Go watch some famous talk show hosts and you'll see you are on par with them. Honest.
This man is too good to me. Too good to me. Bring Toys to Work. Let me know your address. I'm coming around with a mop and a bucket. I'm going to clean your whole house for you. I'll do something. I need to do some good deed for you. Thank you very much. He says, tip for understanding interviews. It's not about the questions you ask. It's about the charisma and the conversation flow. Go and watch some famous talk shows and you'll see you are on par with them. I wish I had my own talk show. Imagine that. Dan Who, Late Night with Dan Who. And I had my own band. Would you be part of the band, Brandon? No, you'd be that guy that stands... at the they have their own little section.
You'd be Jimmy Kimmel, and I'd be
his mate.
Oh my god,
his mate. I don't know his name.
I love this guy. What is his name? Oh my god, I watch Jimmy Kimmel every single day.
I know who you're on about though. His Romero. Or
hold on, I'm googling it. Oh my. Yeah,
Guillermo, yeah, him. You can
Guillermo. Oh my god, how could I forget that? I watch that every single day. Yes, I love Guillermo. Yeah, you'd be Kim, I'd be Guillermo.
Yeah, I'd love to do a talk show. Well, again, Legends and Liquor was me wanting to do a sort of later night version, but I live in a house with Amanda and she'd hate me to do it. Imagine if I did a midnight show. She'd kill me. But I would love to do it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to do it.
But yeah, so
many people in the chat are answering now as well.
Shout out to
Guillermo. Good help, Guillermo.
Yeah, Guillermo. Yes. Huge shout out though to Bring Toys to Work. I'll put it this way: on days when I'm feeling like, do I want to pick up my camera today? Do I want to shoot this? I'm tired. You know, maybe all of this is too much, blah, 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 blah. His positivity is very humbling in a way that you just, it reminds you that what you do is for the passion and the fun and the love of it, not sometimes the overwhelming pressures that can come with it, whether that's creating content or whether that's just, buying 100 million figures like we all do.
Not quite there yet.
So exactly, but a big grateful shout out to Michael to bring toys to work for doing that, because it's I know that I for one I appreciate it daily. So
you never know.
Just
Just pause for a second to talk about life, right? You never know what someone else is doing in their day to day. You don't know if they've had a bad day or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, so just be nice to people, all right? Just spread. There's no need to be. I just don't get people who choose to be grumpy. It's like, this is meant to be our escape. Do you know what I mean? I'm grumpy in my real life. Amanda gets grumpy, Dan, all right? She always is jealous of you guys because you guys get happy-go-lucky, Dan, because I'm in my safe place talking about something I enjoy, and then Amanda gets grumpy, Dan. But that's what this hobby is meant to be. It's meant to be an escape from the nonsense of the outside and our boring jobs, etc. But if we didn't have our boring jobs, we couldn't buy these, and we couldn't indulge ourselves in this hobby. So the world goes full circle. And Brandon's paused again, so I don't know if it's my internet or Brandon's today. I just don't know. But I'm just going to go to the chat for a second and see what people are saying. Cloud is saying that he will join my talk show band. You're in. You're hired. You're the drummer. All right, we now need a bass player, guitarist. I'd love a saxophone. I think a saxophone would be good. Yeah, anyone else? Dan Who After Dark? I'd like that. Just topless chat show. No, probably no one would tune in for that, actually. Ignore me. Forget I said that. Dan Who is replacing Graham Norton. I heard it at the recess, so it's a fact now. I heard it at recess. Remember that show? Recess. I used to love that. TJ, Gretchen, Spinelli, all of them. Gus, I think it was as well. Love that show. But I would love to do a talk show. I really would. I'd love to do interviews that weren't just in the toy realm. I'd love to interview other people. But again, you don't really get that opportunity, do you? Brandon is definitely the McMahon to Dan's Carlson. I don't know what that means. Is that an American reference? I don't know. Expose Dan Who is against freedom of speech. That's not true. You can say what you want, but you can say what you want, but pick where you say it, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? You can say what you want, just choose where you put in that energy, where you're projecting that negativity. You get to choose where you do that. You can say it, but you say it somewhere else. Dan, you should interview Amanda for her opinions on the Toy Collectors World. Amanda did join our year anniversary episode of the live stream, I think. And she thinks it's all nonsense. She'd rather me saddle this and just go on holiday. She's one of those experience type people. I'd rather have an experience. Don't you think this is an experience right now? This right now is an experience. Look at this experience. Flashy lights, collection, MCU comic. What an experience I'm having right now. I don't need to go to some lake somewhere and have an Instagram photo. That's boring. I'll stick to what I know. Is Brandon back again? No, he's still gone. Okay, back to the chat. Brandon, this is not your day. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Someone said at the start. Someone said at the start his mum's watching Downton Abbey or something. I think that was rectangular, to be fair. I'll join your band, Dan, but Rich needs to be the lead singer. Oh, absolutely. Rich is in. Rich is the super producer. He can have any job he wants on my chat show. Any job he wants. Cameron says it'll be interesting if Tom Holland's Spidey next year is his suit at the end of No Way Home. Yeah, I'd love that. We only seen a glimpse of it, but I'd love it. It probably will be the suit, though. I reckon they're going to go for when they all landed on the Eiffel Tower. Not the Eiffel Tower. They were never in Paris, were they? What am I talking about? Statue of Liberty. Why did I say Eiffel Tower? They weren't battling in Paris. Statue of Liberty. Do you know they all jump on the Statue of Liberty and he's wearing this suit? Oh, I'll knock it off the shelf. No, I can get it. Shut up. I don't know. I've just filmed a collection video and it's all smart, and I'm going to ruin it when I do a collection video. When I do some reviews this week. Actually, we could talk about toys, but I need Brandon to come back to do that. Let me take this opportunity though to thank someone who's here in the chat. Okay, I put a request out on my every now and then. If there's something I'm after, I'll just put it out in the universe and see what happens. And I did exactly that. I said to you guys, there was a figure that always bugged me. I missed out on. It was the very first Walgreens exclusive. It was Agent Venom. Now, yes, it's on an older book, but I always liked the character when it was he first appeared. And I just missed out on that Walgreens exclusive. The legend that is Rob Pollock hit me up and said, "Do you know what, Dan? I will help you out, and I will send you that to add to your collection." So, Mr. Rob Pollock actually sent me Agent Venom, and I was very happy to get it. He even sent me, who is now a companion on my desk, a Mini-Mates, because Rob Pollock is obviously the king of Mini-Mates. He sent me a Mini-Mates Donatello to go with my slowly building Mini-Mates display. And yeah, Agent Venom. Beautiful. Just, again, I'm not going to be posing him anything crazy, so I know I don't care about the gammy legs. He's just going to stand on the shelf looking gangster. Yeah, beautiful. Though, Rob Pollock, my friend, you are a legend. Thank you very much. This is what an example of what this community is all about. So thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you all the way to the UK. And Brandon's back again. Brandon, we're concerned. We're concerned for your Wi-Fi. What's going on?
Well,
usually it's me. So I sympathise.
No, it is definitely me. I think it's my laptop more than the Wi-Fi, because my phone is fine on the Wi-Fi, but for some reason, my laptop drops off the Wi-Fi, which means I freeze here, and then it doesn't find the Wi-Fi again. It wouldn't reconnect, so I had to restart the laptop, reboot Zoom, and
it's all good.
And then I'm back.
You're still here.
So,
I do panic and talk about nonsense when no one's here. I just can't do it on my own. Just can't do it. I need that conversation format.
Just one thing I want to quickly say. If you're excited about Doctor Strange next week, stay as far away from any TV spots, clips as possible. Because just as I was sitting here, someone I follow on Twitter, they tweeted something, and so the notification came through to my phone. I clicked on it, and it's a literally less than 15-second clip, and it shows 2 or 3 things that you don't really want to see.
Oh no! Let's just dig. Let's bury a hole.
So I'm not going to mention it, but I saw it and thought, I don't really mind because I expected what it is, but I just a big.
Look, let's just end the stream now. Everyone go and dig a hole in the garden and bury your head, all right? We'll see you all after the 6th of May. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.
No, not really. We're not going anywhere. Yeah, sorry. I was saying thank you to Rob Pollock, Brandon, because look.
Yes. I saw your post.
And you know I've been
well.
after this
that's
for
great.
freaking ages.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, for sure.
So, much appreciated, Rob. He knows I love him. Thank you very much. And a few people in the chat are talking about Walgreens exclusives today because where's he gone? The North King Jedi, he says, talking about Walgreens exclusives, I got the Jigsaw today.
Nice.
Very nice. Now, if we play our cards right, Brandon, we may have a couple of new things this weekend, right?
Oh, that's right.
So, should I give people a little tease?
About that.
So, if you go and check out the Super Producer displayed once his Instagram, you'll see something new that he may or may not be sending me to review. May or may not, I don't know. We'll find out. But shout out Rich as always. Also, talking about Jigsaw, yes, I may also be getting Jigsaw. Dante has already hit me up. He said he wants a couple. I went, not a problem. But this time I'm only helping out channel members, right? Because last time I sent out so many Baron Zemos, and I'm like, hang on a minute, does this guy even support my channel? Do you know, and I'm going to the post office and boxing stuff up. So if you're a channel member, of course I will help you get your hands on Jigsaw. But I don't want any hangers on, all right? So there you go. Absolutely. I'm putting it out there. There it is. So if you hit me up and go, Dan, can you help me out with Jigsaw? My question's going to be like, of course I can. You a channel member? So, okay, just putting it out there. People who support me, I'll support back. That's as simple as that, all right? Not trying to get rich. Trust me, I've still got a day job. But still, putting it out there. So, yeah, Jigsaw. Also, Brandon, today, paid for Retro Rhino.
Yes, you did. You did. Thank you to the great guys over at Indomon Toys.
Yeah, so I may have Jigsaw, Retro Rhino, and Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure Wave Siren on Saturday. I may have all 3 of these on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, I might put a little poll up now, actually, to see what the chat think I should review first. Because all 3 of them, I'm assuming there's reviews of Jigsaw already, so I'm not massively much about that.
Yeah, I would probably go Rhino, Siren, and then Jigsaw, for sure.
Okay, let's do that. So, Brandon, before you went, you were saying we were talking about the nuggets from the interview.
Yes.
So what nugget?
Yes.
Any ones that stand out to you?
So I mean, there were ones that were like there were nuggets that were sort of like hints, teases, things to really get super excited about, and then there were points that I thought were just really cool that the Hasbro team shared with you guys. And the first one was about serial numbers. So Dwight was saying that the serial numbers that you get on Marvel Legends, where possible, they try not to put them on the thigh, or on the leg of the figure, but they try to put it on the bottom of the foot so that it's out of the way. It doesn't interfere with any deco. It doesn't interfere with any of your ACBA or that kind of thing. And as Dwight was talking about it, I think I had maybe 5 or 6 Legends on my desk, and I picked up every single one, and the serial number was at the bottom,
Oh, okay.
And I just thought, like, that's such a cool tidbit. And I mean, I know they've been trying to do that for a couple of years, but I just thought that's such a cool tidbit of how the team thinks with the end customer in mind, how they think with collectors and the community in mind, that they know people would rather not have that interfering with the suit and the deco. So I thought that was cool.
Something that someone like Rectangular has been asking for years. Like, to be fair, like it has been something that's been pointed out as in like why, because other lines had been putting them on the feet way before Legends. So it was something they needed to do, just because as they're making these aesthetic improvements like the pinless tech, it would be ashamed for that silhouette of a figure to be ruined by serial numbers just plastered on the back. So yes, I completely agree. It was the right thing for them to do. And I've put up the poll in the chat so the chat can decide. So again, this might not happen, by the way, people. I've just got to rely on the postman to get these to me and shipping and all of that. But I may have Retro Rhino, Jigsaw and Bonebreaker Siren on Saturday. So which one should I review first? Let me know in the chat. I've put up a poll, all right? And I will review accordingly, because of course I'm going to do reviews for them all. Amanda and Teddy don't care. Well, I think Teddy does, but Amanda tries to take him over to the dark side, because if Teddy really didn't like my collection, don't you think he'd try and destroy it every time he's in here? But he doesn't, does he? He doesn't. You've seen my collection video. He's a big fan. He was the co-star.
Yeah, that was so funny that he kept going back in there.
He even said hello in the collection video as well. I don't know if no one noticed that. Okay, so another tidbit from the Marvel interviews that I thought was interesting. The first one I've seen them say this in was in Eve Rivera's, but then they did repeat it again in other interviews for clarification. Is that Dwight said that this new updated Spider-Man retro body, so it's the same old Spider-Man retro body, but now with pinless tech and the toe joints. That particular mold is going to be used on another A-list Marvel character this year.
Yeah.
Now everyone's mind is going to Daredevil, where in our conversation earlier with MCU Collector, we thought, hang on a minute, that'd make a really good mold for Black Panther, a comic Black Panther. Mm-hmm. So, same question to the chat that I'm going to ask to Brandon. What character do you want to see be the next figure on that brand new retro body with the pinless arms, the toe articulation? Who's worthy of it? Who do we need an upgrade of in the collection?
I think this is really interesting because when you think about both of those characters, Daredevil, we've had the original 2015 Daredevil from the Hobgoblin wave, I believe. Then you got the Defenders box set, Amazon Daredevil. You have the Armored Daredevil from the 90s retro card. You have the SPDR wave Daredevil with the black and red suit.
So there's a couple.
What other Daredevils have we got?
There's a couple. Then
I think that's the only 4, right?
And we've got that one.
Yep.
And then Daredevil. That's the very first one.
The first Daredevil, and then there's the black and red one.
Yeah, the Shadowland. And then I've made my own version of Matt Murdock with a Coulson body when I painted the tie red. Nice. But yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, Daredevil is worthy of it completely.
However, I mean, I would love to see it, but my personal choice would be I think a Black Panther, because I think someone had mentioned that, I think Tom, Mini Plastic Multiverse mentioned that, well, Daredevil, perches on the side of buildings so the toe articulation could fit him. And I agree. But I think when I think of Black Panther, the just the physical movement, I think that toe articulation would really serve him well. And I think that when you think about Black Panther, he doesn't really need any additional parts sculpted on top,
Mm-hmm.
You can just repaint him in all black, really, and then just sculpt a new head, and you're good to go. Whereas with Daredevil, you'd need to sculpt the belt and the batons and the holster and that kind of thing, unless you could just fit the existing one on, I guess. But I don't know if the proportions are different from the Bucky cap to the new pinless retro super articulated body.
Which is the best current? Because there has been Black Panthers and Daredevils on the Bucky cap, and we all know the Bucky cap isn't worthy of athletic characters like that. Which is the best comic? There you go. So that's what I was asking. Do you think that's the best comic?
Personally, I have a real soft spot for the Rocket Raccoon 2013 Build-A-Figure Wave Bucky Cap, Black Panther,
that's epic
the
hero
Blue
dance.
Panther.
That's epic. That's
Frush
Robo review comparison Black Panther.
Yeah, I absolutely adore that figure. I really, really adore that figure. It's one of my favorites. I've got one.
Repaint, isn't it? It's this figure,
yeah. And I've got that one still in box as well upstairs in the loft. So I love that figure, but I think this one is on the Spider-Man UK body, I think.
No,
it's not.
That's not UK. It could be actually. Could be. I don't know. I'm never opening any vintage cards, by the way. I've got Vintage Wave 1 and 2 upstairs in boxes, and there's characters on there. Sorry, excuse me. There's characters. That was like a inverted hiccup. That was weird. There's characters in that Vintage Wave 2, like Black Panther's in it, of course. There's the Hawkeye. There's Vision. So I've always thought to myself, one day I may open that Vision up and put them on the shelf or something like that. But now that the plastic packaging may be gone forever, I'm like,
I wouldn't open those.
I'm never opening those vintage cards. Thank God I've got the display ready already, because these are only going to get higher on the aftermarket when plastic packaging disappears, because you're not going to be able to display figures like that again. And sorry to transition to that conversation.
I've got the retro Vision still, and I'm tempted to try and pick up that retro Black Panther again, but we'll see.
Just jump into the chat regarding other Marvel characters that could use that body. Mini Plastic Multiverse and Jay's Toys Collection UK are both on the same page, as they both say Iron Fist. But other people are saying, Daz Smoke says Deadpool with the new body. Byron Lee says Daredevil for sure. A literal action figure says Miles Morales. I guess an adult version of Miles, maybe.
That Mayfex version of Miles, that one.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
Greg Fingsat says Brandon didn't Walgreens have a yellow Daredevil suit. He is completely 100% correct. There was the first appearance.
Is that
Daredevil,
one too?
which I don't have.
Yeah.
I had it once and kept the interchangeable head and then sold the figure, because yellow Daredevil's not my Daredevil. I get his first appearance Daredevil, but he's not my Daredevil. But yeah, Action Figure Expert says the same. He says, don't forget the Walgreens yellow Daredevil. That wasn't Daredevil. That was actually a scroll, Action Figure Expert, all right? Just letting you know, that was actually a scroll, all right? You knew that really, though. Your Boy's Got Toys says, I've only got the Netflix and Armored Daredevil. Sad face. That Netflix Daredevil is very sought after, though. Very sought after, especially if he's going to be making more appearances in the MCU. But if you listen to Nerdzoic with his recent Marvel Legend video, he's telling people just to hold off, because there may be another Daredevil coming down the line if he's going to appear in the MCU again. And he's not wrong. But tell you, he won't ever get a Marvel Legend again. Danny Rand, Netflix Danny Rand, or... what is it? What's Colleen Wing? Wasn't she in something else? Oh no, she was in. You know the actress that's Colleen Wing. She was asked to be in Shang-Chi, but she said no to that, and she went and did the Matrix instead. Because she wants to revive Colleen Wing somewhere rather than play a new character in the MCU. Yeah. So fair play to her for that, because I like that. Daz Smoke says comic Cyclops on the new body. Yeah, Cyclops definitely needs a figure that's
Yes,
not
would be
on
great.
the Bucky cap. Cyclops definitely worthy of a new body.
I'm thinking Vulcan for sure. The Vulcan body would be great for him.
Catlib says, still I hold out hope for the Mafex comic Black Panther. Well, they've just revealed a comic Thor to go along with their comic Iron Man. So I'm sure Cap's come in, Black Panther's come in. Spider-Man already exists, of course. So they're coming. They're A-list tier characters. They're coming. Comic Vision desperately needs a re-release as Daniel S. He does, because I'm never opening that vintage card again. That's for sure. That will stay in the box. Byron Lee says, I'd love to see it on the Surfer. Pretty good though. Again, my ones, I always take the opportunity to show off when I can, but my one's posed up pretty good. There he is. Like, that's my secret, by the way. Glue tack. Don't tell Bug Nice, you won't be happy. But it's true. Glue tack's involved. Okay, so I did mention...
That's okay, that's still tangible.
Is it glue tack tangible? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
I use glue tack all the time.
All right, cool. Andrew Clark, right? He always says, right? That's my uncle, by the way, Brandon. Right? So I went and visited my nan yesterday, and my nan says, "Oh, your uncle watches you," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, you ignore him in the chat." And I was like, "What? What's he called?" And obviously, it's his actual name, but I've never noticed it. And I was just like, "Oh, my bad." Next time I see him, I shout him out. So I've just seen him right there.
That's so funny.
Andrew
there
Clark,
he is.
So give my uncle a wave. There you go, Andrew. He's got a 3D printer, and I said I need to come and visit him because maybe I can get him to 3D print us some stuff.
There you go.
So yeah, there you go. Shout out Andrew Clark.
Shout out to Uncle Andy.
There he is, indeed. Says he watches Legends and Liquor, knows the crew, but we appreciate that. Thank you very much. So staying on the topic of the boxes, during the Marvel interviews, it was sort of unanimous. Every single Marvel interview that happened this past week, everyone asked about the packaging because it is a big deal. Like, this is what we've known for the last 5-6 years. Like, standard Marvel Legend Build-A-Figure boxes, retro cards came into play, whether it be Avengers, X-Men, Spider-Man, or Fantastic Four most recently. So, like, that's the norm for Marvel Legends. That is what we know. And people don't like change. And also people collect for different reasons, whether it's to keep mint on card, display it, whatever, buy one to keep, open, all of that. Everyone has their own collecting habits. Not one is the right and not one is wrong. Do you know, like, you can collect whatever way you want. But it seems like Hasbro, as a brand, not just the Marvel team, Hasbro as a brand, are moving away from plastic in their packaging to save the environment, be more sustainable, which is fair enough. It's not wrong. And I've seen idiots in the comments saying, but the toys are plastic, make cardboard figures, right? Now, Hasbro are not trying to reduce the plastic they use in the actual product they're trying to sell you. Just think the action figure and its accessories is the product that Hasbro are trying to sell you, right? They're not trying to reduce the plastic in that. They're trying to reduce the plastic in the way they get you your product. The same way that Amazon would ship you up something without putting it in a brown shipper box. Do you know that time if you order like an electric toothbrush from Amazon, they may just stick the label on the actual electric toothbrush box rather than in a brown box? It's because they're trying to not use as much cardboard, right? So there's different ways companies are trying to be sustainable. Hasbro have decided, for whatever reason, boardroom decision or what, I don't know. Shareholders maybe, I don't know. Have decided to use...
but Dan, they're just trying to save money by cutting down on the plastic and the packaging.
Just unintelligent people say shit like that.
I'm an expert on international.
I'm not an expert, but what I'm saying is by the way, all the chat are saying hello to my Uncle Andrew, which I find pretty funny. Hello.
That's really funny.
But yeah, like, so Hasbro are not trying to reduce the plastic in the product. They're trying to reduce the plastic in the packaging that we get our product. And if you went and did a survey of the community, I guarantee you more people in the community open their figures and bin the packaging than don't. Now, I'm in that weird limbo where I buy some to keep card, I buy a lot to open, obviously. I also
want to stock, want to rock.
But I also have loads of boxes that I just won't throw away for whatever reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm in that weird middle ground where I feel like I see all sides of this argument. But, like, people were giving me shit in the comments because I agreed with Ryan when he said at the end of the day it's about the action figure inside. And I went, you're right. And the people were being idiots in the comments saying what you're talking about. And, like, I'm not retracting that statement. Like, it is. Like, I wouldn't buy a VHS X-Men box. Do you know what I mean? I brought it because of the figure inside. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't buy just the box. I brought it because of the figure inside. So, like, even if you choose not to open that box, the figure's still inside. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so the VHS X-Men are a good example of what I think the future's going to be. But I do think, unfortunately, people, retro cards... Can we have a moment of silence in the chat, please?
But then...
Can we have a moment of silence?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Like, but I do think 2022 is the last year of retro cards in this regard. Like, obviously, Ryan and Dan said there's going to still be different ways to get us our nostalgic hits, but it's not going to be like this. The reason I love this packaging so much is because it's a tribute to exactly how I used to get my figures in the 90s. Do you know? And they're not going to be able to do that again. So I'm very happy that I went all in on this line and made this display. Rhino, of course, will go next to Kingpin. Lizard will go somewhere. That's right. You're not going to be there much longer, Webman. But there you go. So, Brandon, what's your thoughts on it? I know it's a complicated one, but just general thoughts.
My thinking is...
Because you tell people as well, because you do buy to keep on cards. You've got figures signed. Like, you're in that limbo space as well, where you do a bit of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, especially in the last couple of years, my favorite figures of the year, I will usually get 2 of. But the more I think about it, I think the more I'm actually in the same boat as Ryan is, which is that, you know, he said on one of the streams, he said, one of the interviews, he said, for him, a lot of it is also about just knowing that he has a pristine figure in the box that's untouched. That, you know, for me, like, sometimes I get worried about gummy joints on figures, or, you know, on Hasbro figures. Sometimes I worry that what if I am posing it too much and I wear down the joints and something snaps. So the reason why I've done that on some of my favorite figures over the last couple of years is because it's just there as a safeguard that, you know, if something ever happens to it, I've got a backup in case I need it. But I also get that, for example, with your retro cards, with the 20th anniversary cards, sometimes you look at it and think, damn, that looks so good in the box, just looking through the window and seeing that thing. For me personally, though, I mean, I have been detaching big time. You'll remember my quarter life crisis earlier this year when I was clearing out a lot of my boxes. And that was very hard to let go. I mean, I've had the Love and Thunder, a few of the Love and Thunder figures this week, and I haven't thrown those boxes away yet because they're new. So I'm like, oh, it's so pretty, you know? And it's hard to kind of get rid of it. But I think that when you look at the VHS line in particular, the box art is just gorgeous, bro. Like, I would struggle to throw that away because it's just a piece of art. It's so nice. And I think if they could get to a way where, you know, the mainline Build-A-Figure packaging, it might not have to be as, you know, decorative of that, because I'm sure that artwork, commissioning that artwork takes up part of the budget and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if there was a way that they could find a middle ground between the VHS all-out decorative art and the renders on the Beyond Amazing Spider-Man stuff, I think it would be a really cool place. Because personally, some of the renders look good on the 60th Spider-Man stuff, but some of the renders are a bit not lame, but just it doesn't sell the figure in the best way, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm exactly as you say, you know. I'm actually thankful that they're thinking like this, because it makes me less inclined to keep the boxes and just, you know, clog up space that I don't need to clog up.
Another advantage about the VHS Retro, just to use it as an example, the X-Men VHS figures, right? With all these Spider-Man figures, I've brought 2. One to open to display, to play with, whatever, and then another one to put on the wall to display. With these X-Men VHS boxes, I don't have to buy 2. Like, I can enjoy the packaging for what it is, but have the figure out of the packaging, and you're never going to know the figure's not in the box. Do you know, like, you can enjoy both aspects of the product. So there's just one small example. But I also do think this is just a genuinely, as a broad thing, a case of bad timing, because at the same time that people in the community started to get a little bit arsy about prices being risen again, is the same time that this packaging changes. And you know people don't like change. And I do think that double whammy of higher prices, and new packaging that they don't particularly like, was a little bit overwhelming for some people. I don't want to say simple-minded, but just the common collector, if you know what I mean. People who don't really think too much about the ongoings, if you know what I mean. So, like, I do think that double whammy didn't help Hasbro, where it's like prices are rising and also packaging is reducing, because for some reason people think that the plastic windows were super expensive. I don't know, they're idiots. But anyway, that double whammy didn't help, is all I'm trying to say. And I do think people don't like change. And at first, Hasbro are still trying to figure it out themselves. And yes, I agree with Brandon that some of the Spider-Man boxes ain't as great as I think they could have been. Like, they're just digital renders on the front. I think digital renders on the back are fine with the accessories, but I do think the front needs to be a bit of artwork or something a bit more fun.
Sure.
And I do think Hasbro will move there eventually. Just think this is their first go. They're trying to figure it out themselves, the same way that the other brands are trying to figure it out. So we just got to stick with them. If you like, just stick with them. Go on.
A couple cool points from the chat. Baraka the Collector, shout out to him. He said, I can't wait to see the art that they start putting in closed packaging, like comic panels for movie figures, maybe stills from the film or cool concept art. And shout out to Figs Daily as well, one of my good friends over in Miami. He makes a good point that QC needs to be superior with little to no mistakes if they really switch to the no plastic window display. And I think Cap Lives made that point earlier too, about being able to inspect paint apps. And that is my only thing. Look, do I think that because of that they shouldn't make the shift to no plastic? No. I think the good of the environment is much more important than any insignificant concerns I have. But I completely agree with them. My number one issue is paint apps. I went to a local toy shop. And I picked up 8 Jane Foster figures, 8, right? And there was only maybe 2 that had the helmet head look pretty good. Pretty much all of them, the helmet was a little bit off, the eyes were a little bit off. There was something on each of them that just was not good. Yep, there you go.
And yeah, by the way, people, I never mentioned this at the start of the stream, but yeah, me and Brandon both have the brand new Thor Wave. The same as, again, this is what I like about Legends, where there's no pre-order, they're just pow, there they are. Here's the trailer for the film, you get excited for the film, and you can already buy the toys for the movie. So yeah, who did you go for, Brandon?
I went for Thor, Valkyrie, and Mighty Thor. Ravager Thor, Mighty Thor, and Valkyrie.
I'm just going to check the eyes, the helmet on my Jane Foster. I need to do a closer look. I don't think I'm as particularly
the no helmet heads were perfect on every single one. Every single one I looked at. But the helmet head in particular, the eyes were off on a lot of them. And I know a lot of people won't care, but personally, like the shot I took of Mighty Thor earlier this week, it would not have worked with the one with weird eyes. It just wouldn't have worked. So that's and as well gore. The gores on the shelf were the same. Some of them were looking down.
You can see Christian Bale in that face.
Yeah. That likeness is amazing.
I do want to say to everybody who's on the fence about these particular figures, like in hand, like, I know I say this all the time, but get them in hand, they look a lot better than any photo or reviews making them look. I promise you, because I know the people are not happy with the Star-Lord's new haircut. And I don't think
you got a Teddy Bomb coming, by the way.
Oh no, I don't think, because Amanda knows it's nearly 10 o'clock. That's Amanda's way of telling me to get off. See what I have to put up with. But with Star-Lord, like it's better in person. Is all I'm saying. Is it the best Star-Lord Marvel Legends head we've got? No, I don't think it is. Is it as bad as people are making out? No, I don't think it is. So get it in hand for yourself. It's not as bad as people think. In person, definitely. You can see Chris Pratt in there if you squint your eyes and look in a different direction. But there you go. No, it's not that bad, honestly.
Look in a different direction. They're so funny.
Thor looks great. Ravager Thor for your Asgardians of the Galaxy. And then who's last? Groot. And Groot is different to the previous Groot.
That Groot is phenomenal.
Like, and that
was
Groot,
the really worthy update for Groot.
Yeah, that last Groot was in a free pack. Do you know? So it was quite expensive to get Groot and Rocket.
And it was a Toys R Us 3-pack, by the way.
And this is more
In
expensive.
2018.
Groot comes with, not only does he come with like branches for his hands, he also comes with trigger finger hands so he can hold his blaster and a mean mugging face as well. So I think this Groot is great. Look at the comparison there. It's night and day. Look at that other one, looks like his goofy cousin. That's
huge difference, man. Huge.
Oh,
look at that.
That is crazy. Crazy difference. Yeah.
And this one, you get the trigger finger hand, you get the other accessories too. Well worth the update.
Like Groot, everyone when they see this, oh, it's a cheap reissue. No, this is when they give us, again, people sometimes mistake the word reissue for upgrade. It's an upgrade of a character we already have. And I did say this in my interview with the Hasbro team as well, like, if we all just got the figures we wanted like straight away and then that was it, no more, the hobby would be over and done with. Like, especially if you've got a little bit of money in your back pocket, you go and buy the figures you want. That's it. Shake your hands. Well, that was it. I was a collector for a week, but I brought all the figures I wanted off eBay. Great hobby. Did you have fun there with your week? No. It's a consistent chase. We all have that like urge to like go out looking for that next thing, that next piece to the collection, that upgrade, whatever. It's all part of the game, and like people just like to flip it into the worst possible scenario. Oh, people are trying to do this. Oh, people are trying to... No. It's just a company making toys to make money. That's their business. We can pick whatever toys we like out of that. Oh, bloody hell. Anyway, before I get teddy bombed, Brandon, next week, the next time we speak to you, you would have seen Doctor Strange, because you're seeing Doctor Strange early on Thursday morning, correct?
I am indeed.
So next week, I'm not even looking at the chat next week. You are manning the chat for me. Basically, next week it's going to be me, Brandon, and Rich. We're going to be doing a list of our most wanted like mystic characters, I believe. Rich has done his magic again. He put a poll up on his Instagram, and people give him mystical characters that they'd like to see in figure form. So next week it'll be me, Rich, and Brandon, the trio, doing your most wanted mystic characters in Legends form. We do a whole list of them to obviously celebrate the release of Doctor Strange. That also comes out that very same day. I myself, though, I'm not seeing it until the Friday afternoon. So Brandon's going to have to give us a very, very spoiler-free review so we can just get us hyped up a little bit. And he's also got to man the chat, because if spoilers happen in the chat that I don't want to see, because next week I'm going to start dipping away. After Moon Knight, I'm going to start dipping away from the internet, I think, until I've seen Doctor Strange. But I still need to see Moon Knight episode 5. I might watch that tonight, actually. But I appreciate everyone sticking with us today. A lot of Marvel Legends news. Again, let me just put a quick plug. There's the interview, lads, on the channel, or lads and ladies, if there's any ladies out there. I think Amanda's in there. She's a lady. Live right now. Or is she? No, I'm joking. She is. Live right now on YouTube. Go and check out the interview where I try and at least make these PR interviews as fun as I can with Ryan, Dan, and Dwight, and they're good lads. Honestly, you do get a little bit of an opportunity to talk to them before you actually press go on the interview anyway, and they're good guys. They're fans as well. At the end of the day, I don't think they're faking it. I think
absolutely,
you only have to look at Ryan's collection and Dan's collection. These guys are fans as well, and it's really important for me to have people that actually care about the brand in control of the brand.
100%.
Like, it's a game changer. We're very lucky. So go and check out the interview, of course, and the collection video. There's a collection video on the channel right now. Go and check that out. Over 10k views, which is pretty good for me. Me and Teddy just basically walk you around my collection, a closer look at all of this nonsense on the shelf, which I promise you it's changed already, because again, I've got new figures. I'm going to have more new ones this weekend. And before we plug Brandon's, I do want to just end this poll that I've just remembered we've got running. So I asked the question on Saturday, so this coming Saturday, I should have, again, I don't know if I will, it all depends on the postman, delivery, all of that, should have Retro Rhino, Jigsaw, and Siron from he's up there, Siron from the Bonebreaker Wave in hand. So which ones should I review first? With 56% of the vote, so he won undoubtedly Retro Rhino. So of course, if I do get these figures, I will review Retro Rhino first, do a straight up comparison with the previous Rhino, who's right at the back of the shelf. But thank God, this is the reason I had to film a collection video, Brandon, because Rhino, right, he's right at the bloody back. So,
really?
Look, I'm going to have to knock over half this shelf just to get Rhino off there for a comparison. So, yeah, that's the pain of making a YouTube channel and collecting. Like, trust me, you don't want to do a YouTube channel. You'll never have a nice collection. So yeah, I will do Retro Rhino, Jigsaw with 24%, and then Siren with 19%. So there are a few reviews up already for Jigsaw if people are interested, but of course I'll still do one as well. And if you are still here, hit that like button. Apparently it helps the algorithm. Amanda's about to give me Teddy. Do you want to say hello, Ted, to the people before we go? There you go, Ted. Let's bring the camera down so they can see your face. Ted, what do you think about the recent changes? Let me move this down. They need to see your face. Ted, what do you
Baraka
think?
the Collector said, imagine someone super chat spoilers.
Oh, okay. That scared me now, Baraka. Teddy, what do you think of the recent changes with the Hasbro team's price increases and also packaging changes? No comment. He refuses to speak on the matter. That's fair, Teddy. That's fair. Poor Ted. Poor Ted. He's not happy about it. He wants more retro Spider-Man figures. So do I, Ted. So do I. Right, I've ended the poll. There we go. And by the way, go and check out Brandon's Instagram. Let me find... Oh, sorry, Ted. Sorry. He's just upset. I've upset him, reminding him about the packaging changes. Sorry, mate. Try and forget about it. Eat a bone. Brandon, let me find your page. Let me find your bloody page. I know what it is. Hero something. Hero
something.
Info dash collections.
But that's the thing, man. This time next week, it would have been there and done.
I will know just from the smile off your face. I think you're gonna come out of that cinema really happy, and then when we come on the live stream, you'll just have a big grin on your face, and we're gonna know.
Yeah, man.
We're excited to see that film. But
yeah.
You're going really early in the morning. Is it too early for popcorn? But do you go in for coffee?
I don't think so. I think for that kind of event, you gotta go for popcorn. I can't wait for this movie.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to see what happens next, especially after that 15-second clip I saw earlier. And as I say, I would just advise everybody and anybody to be careful of it. But I think we're in for one heck of a ride through the multiverse, and I can't wait. So, but yeah, man, it's Hero Collections. Just rounded out the Love and Thunder shots from this week. Please go and show some love to King Valkyrie.
I felt bad I didn't like it then, but it only happened 3 minutes ago, so I was live on YouTube, so forgive me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, go and show some love to Valkyrie. I'd much appreciate it. As well as that mighty Thor, bro. Shot. I love that figure. I absolutely
right at the end
figure.
Of the trailer, yeah, nice.
Yeah, for sure. And this one, I really was so grateful for the love shown to this one. I'd been working on this for weeks and weeks, and it just didn't. I couldn't figure out how to do it, and then I improvised a bit, and it came out really nice. So, yep, gonna show some love to the ACBA over there. On Mondays, I do Into the Heroverse at 8 p.m. UK time, same time as what we do, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m.
But on
Eastern,
Instagram exclusive, 12, Instagram live exclusive.
Instagram lives. Probably going to be talking about the new Black Panther Legends on Monday. And yeah, there they are.
Go and rewatch them, people.
And Dan, as always, brother, very grateful to be here and get to talk Legends with you. And I'm excited for what next week and beyond.
Yeah, next week we'll be in a good mood because you would have seen Doctor Strange. I'll be seeing it the next day. Hopefully some new toys this weekend.
The finale for Moon Knight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's, again, great Marvel week next week for sure. I'm going to start up with this weekend with the new figures. Massive thank you to MCU Collector 24 for coming to join us to talk about MCU news. Again, not something I promoted because I didn't know he was coming on. So it is nice to get him when the opportunity comes up. So Brian, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Of course, I appreciate Brandon, the super producer, and everybody in the chat. So before we get out here, let me just do my credits first and foremost. Where's my credit? There's the credit. Thank you very much to everyone supporting with the super chats. Bring Toys to Work, Laser Pants, Ultimate Carnage, Pack Photos, Tac Toys for Film, and Dio Ramo, and then all the new subscribers as well. So maybe MCU Collector 24 brought some of his subscribers over, which I'm not mad about. Not mad about. Rich is trying to get me to campaign for 20k in 2022.
There you go.
Which would be great. I'm not gonna lie, but we shall see. I need those legends to keep coming in a timely manner for that to happen, I think.
Absolutely.
But thank you once again to everyone getting involved with the super chat. You know I appreciate you. You know me and Brandon appreciate you. Thank you very much to everyone still in the chat right now. Figs Daily, Bring Tools to Work, Greg Finstead, Cloud Foxwell, Mini Plastic Multiverse, Thomas Brock, Caleb. Now I'm sad I got rid of my Instagram. Don't worry, you can make another Instagram. Baraka, the collector says great stream. Bon Williams as well with the waves. Music Knowledge 1. Tony Collect, Daniel S, Fortress Maximus, 1-6 Shooter. He says, I just want to let you know how to keep them all standing, Dan. Oh, I just want to know how you keep them all standing. Patience is the key word there. Patience. Just patience. Like even my new, like, look at this. Do you want a little tease of my new miscellaneous shelf? It's going to be too dark, but look, it's changed. I've got Ghostbusters and Harry Potter, and look.
Rich said no 20k was my producer rate.
Oh shit. Okay. I may be looking for a new producer at a much cheaper rate now. Not really. Show wouldn't be the same without him. Okay, let's get out of here, Brandon. This is the time where you tell everyone your deepest, darkest secrets. Go.
Deepest, darkest secrets. Oh, man. Oh, you know what is fun? Speaking of the multiverse, tomorrow's ACBA shot is of the Guardians of the Multiverse.
Oh, nice. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, and I was really experimenting with the lighting and stuff to try to get that, you know, that kind of look of the animation from What If. So I'm really excited about it. So have you decided which one you're going to review first this weekend?
Yeah, I think I'll do Retro Rhino.
Yeah, good idea.
Retro Rhino. But let's hope they come first. Fingers crossed, everyone. We don't know. I don't know for a fact they're coming. We've got to trust Mr. Postman, all right? So send some good vibes into the air, all right? But thank you very much to everyone who's still watching. Go and click a video if you're watching on the replay. Go and watch another video. Go and watch the collection video. Go and watch the interview. All of that good stuff.
Mike Hex goes, I just saw that clip. He said, oh, I just saw that clip, ...
We'll see you on the next one, people. Bye-bye.